Maybe for Taylor, not as much for us. And, of course, the Hokie offense and Grant Wells waits on their opportunity. Ben Sauls will kick it away. Keyshawn King, one of the deep guys. There'll be no return. He's back there with Bryce Duke. So the Hokies will start. 1st and 10 off their 25-yard line, and the 29th career start for Grant Wells, Roddy.
Grant Wells, transfer from Marshall this season, has come in, and you've seen the good and the bad. He's got an incredible arm, great arm strength, throws a nice deep ball down the field. But the thing is, he's thrown too many interceptions this year. 6 on the season, that following up a season where he threw 13 at Marshall a year ago. He needs help around him, but he needs to take care of the football.
1st and 10, Wells going to move the pocket to his right. He's going to tuck and run and slide across the 30. Gain of nearly 6 for Wells on 1st down.
That a very underrated part of Grant Wells' game. He's an excellent athlete that can really do damage with his legs. And against an aggressive Pitt defense, it may have to be a big weapon for him.
It takes him over 100 yards on the season in his 33rd carry. And, of course, sack yards count against the rush at the collegiate level. 2nd down throw out of the backfield, and this is King trying to get to the perimeter. And flying through Marquez Williams, the corner, 5th-year senior from Pompano Beach, with Eric Hallett, 31 in the blue for the Panthers.
Sets up a 3rd and short. This is an offense that has struggled on 3rd downs this year, but 3rd and short is where they want to be.
3rd and 6 or less. Flags thrown. Might be a free play. Wells going to take the shot downfield. Caleb Smith, a catch in Pitt territory around the 40-yard line, Roddy.
It was a wise play going with the hard count. Got Pitt to jump off sides. You get that. Take a shot down the field. Caleb Smith, their most reliable receiver this year, makes a nice play.
Yeah, Baldonado, guilty of the offside penalties, declined. 17th catch of the year for Caleb Smith, who had 50% of the catches for Virginia, 50% of his catches coming in the last 2 ball games in his season total. And here is King lowering the shoulder and driving to the 36 on the 1st down carry. And Baldonado again. Now, here's the thing about Pittsburgh, Roddy. You wonder about the lingering fallout of last Saturday night's loss by 5 here to Georgia Tech. Likewise for Virginia Tech in a game where they had some early misfires and Carolina ran off and hit at Kenan Stadium.
Yeah, they did. So an explosive play early in the game, good for this Virginia Tech offense. This is a Pitt defense that seems they're most susceptible on first drives of the game because of the uniqueness of their style of play.
Here is Wells looping again. He will overthrow Daquan Wright. 4 catches, 31 yards last week in Chapel Hill for the young man from Perry, Georgia.
They got him matched up with Shane Simon, the outside linebacker. Simon did a good job of throwing the timing of that route off. You saw the stat on that first 3rd down. Virginia Tech wants to be in 3rd and 6 or less. It's going to be a little bit over that.
See Smith to the boundary, 3 to the field for Wells.
Smith condensed his split on that check.
Wells looking out of the backfield for King and will throw behind him incomplete. Bengali Kamara was defending for Pittsburgh.
Well, they were trying to get a little pick play, like with Caleb Smith coming in on a little slant, and then Keyshawn King out of the backfield, but Bengali Kamara does a really nice job of peeling off, seeing the pick coming, getting under it, and then working up the field. And Grant Wells could have given him a better throw, something he could have done something with, trying to go back shoulder, but a nice play by Bengali Kamara.
Peter Moore to punt it to MJ Devonshire. Throws it high in the air off the right foot, and well done by the Hokies. They down the ball right around the Pitt 5. Well done by Moore and Stu Holt's special teams unit. And now here is Kedon Slovis, Roddy. And Pittsburgh backed up in its own territory, just outside the 5 here to start.
watch. You see how Pitt comes out. Kedon Slovis coming off his second 300-yard passing game of the season. Almost got quiet when you looked up at the end of the game, and he had over 300 yards last week against Georgia Tech. But this is a team that's going to rely on the run. They've been one of the biggest run teams on first down, and I'd expect to see a run here.
Panthers are going to play without their leading receiver, though, today. Kanate Mumfield is out of the ball game, and here's Abanikanda trying to get started. And Jalen Griffin fires through, and he and Dax Hollifield are right there to take Abanikanda down back near the 2. Heck of a play.
Mention those tendencies. Pitt a 60% run team on first down, and then you back them up, and you can almost guarantee it's going to be a run play. Pitt came out last week and decided to throw the ball. 5 of their first 6 plays, they couldn't get into a rhythm offensively, so Virginia Tech counting on that and getting a tackle for loss.
Daniel Carter comes in. He's the fullback. It's an I formation play with 2 tight ends. You see Carter, Johnson, and Gavin Bartholomew in motion. And here's Abanikanda trying to get to the right side and just gets beyond the goal line, Roddy. Boy, Virginia Tech, Josh Fuga was the first guy back there for Brent Pry's defense here.
Watch 6 on the left side of your screen, right in the middle of your screen. Does a nice job cutting in front of Jake Cradle, the starting center, who's replaced Owen Drex for the last few weeks. Almost had a safety, as you said. It's a good job of getting out of the end zone by Izzy Abanikanda. And this defensive line is getting after Pitt's offensive line in the first couple plays.
Panthers got to get the car and drive here. It is 3rd and long.
This is the best third down defense in the ACC, 8th in the country, third down defense.
Carolina just 6 of 15 last Saturday in Chapel Hill. Slovis from under center, straight ahead. Abanikanda just trying to drive out, and nothing. Partisans here don't like it. Norrell Pollard shut the door.
It seems like this Virginia Tech defense, Wes, has answered the bell of the physicality, running the football mentality that Pittsburgh was going to bring. And it's a nice job. The offense gets past midfield. They have to punt. You want your defense to get a stop to give you excellent field position. And if Pitt's able to get the punt off, Virginia Tech almost certainly will have that.
So here is Sam Vanderhaar to punt it away to Jaden Blue. 1 step, drives it to Blue off the Pitt 37, and Blue will sneak forward for a couple of yards. And that'll get us to a break. Just a 37-yard punt. Each school's had it once, and the Hokies' second possession starts in plus territory when we continue from Pittsburgh.
Hey, yo, check this axe with 48-hour protection.
Narduzzi's defense, 5 extra yards. Jaden Blue's knee touched at the 38 as he fielded the Vanderhaar punt. So Virginia Tech, rather than starting at the 33, will start at Pittsburgh's 38-yard line. Nonetheless, excellent field position for Wells. And here is King slashing left side. A couple of yards for Keyshawn King.
Nice job on the left side of that offensive line. Jesse Hansen, Johnny Jordan opening up a lane for Keyshawn King, who's been a little banged up this season, but a bright spot for this Virginia Tech offense.
2nd down. Wells fakes the sweep, throws. Gallo could not hang on. The big tight end, who's from Richboro, Pennsylvania. Nick Gallo, their leading receiver, coming in with 19 grabs.
It was a little delay by Nick Gallo. He gives a little shove to the defensive end. He's wide open, and this is the thing with Grant Wells. He has to do a better job of changing velocities. That one didn't need to be a fastball, something with a little touch, and Gallo would have had a lot of room to run.
So 3rd and long here. Wells again finds Gallo stepping out of bounds. Oh, no, Caleb Smith, his second catch ahead of A.J. Woods. 80, not 86. Knocked into the Virginia Tech bench. And going to be 4th and short here, and Brent Pry's got his offense on the field.
Yeah, good. Virginia Tech's going to be aggressive He is just short of the marker. If he knifes upfield, he gets it, but Virginia Tech's got a 4th down.
Bryce Duke's come in the ball game with Wells, and we got movement by the Hokies.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Jesse Hansen.
So frustrating for Virginia Tech, one of the most penalized teams in the ACC in terms of number of penalties, the 2nd highest, and they really corrected it only 3 penalties a week ago, but that one a very costly one by Jesse Hansen.
So it'll be 51 yards for William Ross.
It
would be his longest, Roddy, of the year.
I might think about sending somebody deep to field this. It's going to the open end of the stadium down here at Acrisure.
Yep. Now a flag's been thrown behind it. Delay of game. Ross gets a look at it.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, Brent Pry and Stu Holt, who heads up special teams, not going to be happy at all about that.
And honestly, Brent Pry's upset, but that one's on him too. I mean, he's got to be looking at the play clock and call that timeout. You're taking points off the board by not doing that. Yes, it's on the field goal team. The holder needs to get going. He needs to be a little bit faster on the operation. But Brent Pry could have called the timeout there and saved his field goal team. They had a 4th and 1, and now you've got 4th and 11. You go from being able to get the 1st down to kicking a field goal to a punt.
Here's Peter Moore now. Again, Devonshire locks in his heels around the 5 and will field it on the fair catch. And Pittsburgh will start their 2nd straight possession from its 5, Taylor.
Yeah, guys, this Pitt offense really looking to avoid another slow start this week. Keep in mind, last week, 5 yards on 9 offensive plays in the first quarter versus Georgia Tech's 68 yards on 24 plays, and it really hindered them from getting into a rhythm the rest of the game. So conversations over here on the sideline reminding the guys of that and looking to avoid a repeat of a slow start.
Well, 3 plays, minus 4 yards before the punt a moment ago by Vanderhaar. Abanikanda with Slovis. Off the 5. They're going to hand it to Izzy, lowers the shoulder and drives to about the 7 for a couple. Fuga, the big defensive tackle, makes the stop.
Armani Chapman in there as well, being really aggressive from that corner spot. Expect Pitt to play action at some point in this series.
Another carry. Abanikanda tries to bounce to the outside, and Dax Hollifield wraps him up, drops him, no gain. If he got any, it wasn't much. 3rd down.
And still no passes thrown. Not a surprise because of where the field position has been, but we saw Chris Marv, the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, practicing that outside zone with his linebackers pregame. They are tuned in to what Pitt's trying to do.
Slovis going to throw here. Long throw to the right side, and it's Jared Wayne for a 1st down. Breon Murray, who got his first start last week at Carolina, makes the stop, but Pitt converts to 3rd down.
It's a nice little timing route. You condense the split inside the formation, got a lot of room to the boundary, little speed out. Creates the separation. Kedon Slovis makes the throw, and it's a 1st down.
Here's Slovis' 1st down throw on the perimeter, and this is Jaden Bradley, who had 2 4th-quarter touchdown catches last Saturday night against Georgia Tech. A couple of yards before Connor and Murray are there for the Hokies. So 2nd down and just more than 8 coming up. Another quick throw. Here goes Bradley again, fighting toward the 25. Keontae Jenkins, 5 tackles last week.
Did a nice job of fighting through the block, and now Pitt's got to convert a 3rd down. They missed their first one. Only 2 for 12 on 3rd downs a week ago against Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech looks like it's going to come up and press.
You got Means and Wayne here to the field side at the left.
A lot of Hokies around the line of scrimmage.
Snap to Slovis. White shirts coming, and here's the catch by Wayne. First down as he turns it upfield to the 36.
To number 5, Jared Bradley.
Pitt did a really nice job of picking up the pressure. Watch Izzy Abanikanda right in the middle, picking up Jaden Keller, the blitzing linebacker, giving Kedon Slovis plenty of time, or just enough time, I should say, to make the delivery to Jared Wayne. This was a defense that was really frustrated a week ago with its inability to get to Drake May. No sacks for this crew, and Pitt able to throw despite the pressure.
And now Abanikanda with a valve in the run game, Roddy, as a result of a couple passes to the perimeter, right? Kind of Frank Signetti and Brent Pry and Chris Marv are moving chess pieces around here in the first couple series.
Yeah, and it feels like this Pitt team is getting into a little bit of a rhythm, something that they really weren't able to get into last week against Georgia Tech early on.
Pickup of 8 on first down. Abanikanda fights off a couple of would-be tacklers, crosses midfield, and another Pittsburgh first down. Keep an eye on Izzy today with that shoulder he suffered last Saturday night here against Georgia Tech.
Looks like he's toughing it out, but the beauty of that outside stretch zone system is you just use the defender's momentum against him. Branson Taylor did a good job of that against Dax Hollifield.
1st and 10 plus territory. Here's a flag and a procedure call on Pittsburgh.
False start. Offense number 5. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Riley Johnson.
Jared Wayne was pointing to alert Kedon Slovis, the two guys creeping down towards the line of scrimmage. Ended up a little bit of a flinch there.
You see Wayne from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, has the Canadian flag on the back of his helmet. Other Panthers have the American flag. There's a look. He's got the American and the Canadian flag, does Jared, who's Pitt's leading receiver. Today on the field with Mumfield's injury. Look at that laser intended for Bradley. And with Konate Mumfield out, Roddy, and Jaden Bradley coming off those 2 fourth quarter touchdown catches last week, Pitt's got a little rhythm in the receiving game, I would think, with Bradley.
And I think the coaches would hope so. There's been some inconsistency at receiver this year, trying to figure out exactly who's going to be that other guy. Konate Mumfield, other than Jared Wayne, Konate Mumfield has stepped up, but with him out, there's a big void.
Here's Slovis, and that's Wayne, another catch, tossed back by Armani Chapman.
And you know, Wes, that's where Kedon Slovis, to me, is at his best. When he's able to take a snap, take his drop, and as soon as he hits that top step of his drop, able to release the ball. He's incredibly accurate there. And he's good in a lot of other ways, but those timing routes, those short to intermediate routes, I think are where he's at his best.
11th play of the drive, 3rd and 8 for Pittsburgh. Slovis, pressure coming, guns it, and a flag will be thrown on Chapman trying to defend Jared Wayne. Did Chapman have 2 hands on Jared Wayne when the ball went flying by here?
That's what it seemed like.
The officiating crew's gone to the long sleeves on the chilly October Saturday in Pittsburgh.
Holding, defense number 9. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wes, they're able to get that penalty on the back end because watch Izzy Abanikanda here in pass pro. We highlighted him before, but he does a great job of this blitz pickup. And when you're a running back and you do this, bam, give your quarterback some time to deliver the football. I mean, that's you gotta bring your big boy pants on those, and Izzy did.
Here is Abanikanda bringing the pads again, and Pitt scores.
Well, he took off the big boy pants, Wes, and he put on the Jets here. Makes one cut. There's two Virginia Tech defenders that have ankles on Izzy Abanikanda. He just turns on the gas, accelerates through, and gets in the end zone. That's called being rewarded for doing your job. You do the dirty work on 2 plays, get a handoff, and find yourself in the end zone.
7th rushing score of the year for Abanikanda. Saul's point after is good. And Pitt goes 95 yards to rack up the score here, Roddy.
There was a question on if Izzy Abanikanda was going to play. There's no doubt of his impact when he's in the game. That shoulder looks fine. And by the way, the Jets look like they are revving today.
College football is brought to you by Duke's Mayo, the only condiment with twang.
Tell you what, they have had some stars, Roddy Jones, at this place.
Yes, they have.
There's one right there. That's the best defensive tackle on the planet right
Maybe
now.
in the history of the planet.
Well, okay, easy. He's not up on that wall yet.
He will be.
Guess what the good news is for these guys? You're a Pitt fan. More than likely you're a Steelers fan. Tomorrow, the reigning ACC Player of the Year makes his pro debut as a starter for Coach Tomlin.
Starts for the Steelers.
How about that guy from Jersey, huh? Kenny Pickett came in the ball game last week against the Jets. He goes to Buffalo. That's a pretty salty crowd he's going to snap it against now, Roddy.
You had to design a defense that you didn't want him to go against his first start. It'd probably be that Buffalo defense, but knowing the gamer that Kenny Pickett is, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and has some success.
Malachi Thomas, speaking of debuts, is on the field now for Virginia Tech at the run back spot. Here's Wells to throw and drives one into Jaden Blue. Picks him up 8 on first down before Servassier Dennis makes the stop for Pittsburgh.
You know, they won't go in the highlight reel. That's a great throw by Grant Wells, throwing it to the outside shoulder of Jaden Blue so he can turn away from Servassier Dennis and not take a hit. It's really good quarterbacking.
2nd and short. Play fake Wells. Wants to take the shot for Caleb Smith. Got it! Flag thrown on the ball against A.J. Woods. A terrific throw by Wells. There's a flag where the ball was thrown from and where it was caught.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Pass interference, defense number 25. Penalties declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 5. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run. First down.
A major penalty against the Panthers here.
No kidding. Got Deslin Alexander coming off the edge. That ball is long gone. And I'm not sure he hits Grant Wells all that hard. I mean, we just got a glimpse of it. But the fact that it was that late, I mean,
it made the official's job easy.
From the look that we got, it's soft, but it's late, so you're gonna get it.
No, you got to throw the flag.
Yeah, I guess you do.
No, you have to.
They're football players too, so they can be touched, but not that late.
Ball at the 15. Hokies in the red zone. Smith already 3 catches for 72. Wells tried to drive one in. Deflected and ruled incomplete, and a flag down. I think we're going to get pass interference on the collision. It is.
Pass interference, defense number 31. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Eric Hallett was just a little too soon, breaking on that little glance route. A short post right behind the linebackers off that play action. And you're going to see him break. Yeah, clearly gets there before the football. It's a good call. It almost ended in a pick, but it wouldn't have mattered either way. Virginia Tech, utilizing the penalties, get down close.
Throw over the head of the intended receiver, Jalen Jones, out the back corner. Seems to me Wells is kind of settling in here a little bit, too.
Yeah, well, the deep ball's been where he's been excellent for most of his career, and that was a great throw to Caleb Smith, right on the money. The pass interference didn't matter. But Malachi Thomas still hasn't carried the football. You'd love to get this rush game. This is where you'd love to be able to hand it off, powered in the end zone. This team has really struggled running the football.
Almost 5 yards a carry a year ago for the Hokies, and here is Thomas's first carry and a Virginia Tech touchdown.
Into the end zone for the Virginia touchdown.
Pretty meaningful first carry.
I'd say so. And a powerful one, too. Well, watch the interior of this offensive line, the surge that they create. Like Braylon Moore, number 61, up on the linebacker. And then Malachi Thomas just finishes. How about that for a statement drive by Virginia Tech? Throwing the ball down the field to Caleb Smith, getting some explosive plays they struggled, and then running the ball into the end zone, another place they've struggled this year.
The point after is blocked, so it remains a 7-6 game here in Pittsburgh. William Ross, who'd been perfect on his previous 10 tries. Panthers by 1 after the Thomas touchdown.
Hey, yo, check this axe with 48-hour protection.
Fall moments made easy. That's totally Target.
William Ross misses the first extra point for Virginia Tech since November 26, 2016. DeAndre Jules blocks the first extra point against the Hokies in 248 attempts, Roddy.
Couldn't really see if there was anything wrong with the hold. Didn't look like it. Kicker just didn't get the ball up, and on an extra point, your one job is to get it over the line.
Short kick. Here's Vincent Davis off the 12 on the return. 25, and Davis to the 29-yard line for the Panthers, who lead by a point here after Malachi Thomas announced his return to the Virginia Tech lineup with a touchdown run a moment ago. Let's go downstairs, Taylor.
Down here on the Virginia Tech sideline, this defensive line really talking about shutting down the middle rushing lanes for Izzy Abanikanda. Actually, 1/3 of his rush attempts this season have been up the middle. And look, he's their home run guy. They know if he gets loose on the outside, he's a problem too. But they really want to try and shut down the middle. Another note for you, Armani Chapman has been spending time in the medical tent last week dealing with a shoulder injury, something to keep an eye on.
All right, 1st and 10. Slovis had it blocked. Fuga has been omnipresent. Is that going to be ruled blocked down at the line of scrimmage? Now ruled incomplete by Riley Johnson and his crew.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
It's a good ruling.
2nd and 10 off the 30.
Josh Fuga has been fantastic. I mean, he knows he's not going to get to the quarterback on the quick throw, gets his hands up, bats the ball down. It's a nice play, getting a little push in the throwing lane and then finishing by knocking the ball down.
2nd and the full 10 for Kedon Slovis. Trying to gun it into traffic and incomplete. Looked like Bradley was the intended receiver. He got sandwiched right around the 40-yard line.
That was a tight window. Jaden Bradley, I don't know. It hit him in the hands, but Dax Hollifield hit him about the same time, creating 3rd and long.
Yep. Hollifield and Fuga kind of setting a bar here today, it feels like, for Prize defense.
They are.
Slovis against a three-man pressure. And almost pulled in by Bartholomew. The tight end from Blue Mountain, PA. Couldn't put that one away. Just 3 and out.
Just not quite on the same page as his quarterback. Bartholomew hooked up just inside the hash. Kedon Slovis thought he was going to be about a yard further over the ball. And it's a third down stop for the best third down defense in the ACC.
So here is Sam Vanderhaar from Melbourne, Australia to punt it away. Jaden Blue at the 32. And a knee touchdown on the return. So the play is whistled dead after a 38-yard punt by Vanderhaar.
Second time that knee's gotten him.
Yep. That's where the Hokies are going to take over, and we had a little post-whistle skirmish here. It looked like Servasi Dennis and one of the officials got tied up coming away from the whistle, but nonetheless, no flags, and cooler heads prevail.
The play with a little bit of chatter. Servasi. He was close. Put your hands on an official like that. I'm surprised the flag wasn't thrown. Usually that's a zero tolerance thing.
Now we have a flag thrown.
False start.
Wow.
Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Cade Moore, big sophomore at right guard from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. 4th penalty already on Virginia Tech. Wells trying to find a run lane, and Dennis takes him down at the 29. Big gain of a couple. 3rd long coming up. Have you ever noticed, Roddy, that when we have a penalty in a football game, and our director today is Peter Loomis doing a terrific job for us, and you show the coach of the team that commits the violation, normally we get a coach who's making a note with a red pen.
I would say
that's not good.
Pretty consistent through the league there.
Yeah. I watch a lot of games and find the red pen. And let's see. Looked like John Morgan peeled off the edge, but did Parker Clements move first?
I thought it was John Morgan first, but we'll see.
Offside. Number 6 on the defense. Unabating to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
I think John was selling, don't you?
I believe so as well. Parker Clements does move. You're going to see him flinch, but after John Morgan takes off, no, it was him. It was him first. No, big fella, it wasn't.
4 penalties now on Pittsburgh.
Try and sell him.
That's Gallo, the tight end, in motion. Wells going to keep and turn the corner. First down, Virginia Tech. And Grant Wells steps out of bounds for a Hokie first down. Shane Simon closed the angle for Pitt.
It's just a zone read. He's going to be reading these 2 guys. Watch how they kind of try and play in between the dive and the quarterback. Squeezed down by, like that was 92, Tyler Bentley, and able to pick up a big first down.
First down throw. Smith the catch. Steps out of bounds close to another Virginia Tech first down. This game's opened up a little bit more for both schools, Roddy, than I think we thought it might early.
It certainly opened up more for this Virginia Tech offense than I thought it would early. This Virginia Tech offense that has really struggled. Under 300 total yards in 3 of its last 4 games. The one where they were over was Wofford. Thomas
lowers the shoulder, first down. And he will crack the 40 to the 39. Kamara, the tackle for Pitt. That could very well be the final play of the opening period. Virginia Tech might want to snap it one more time here as they don't huddle for the 1st and 10 play. And this is Malachi Thomas. Picked up 5, 6, almost maybe 7 on first down.
What a first half this has been. We kind of anticipated it being sort of a slow game with defenses dominating. The offenses have had some success.
Yep. Touchdown for Thomas. 38-yard run for Izzy.
Fall faves made easy. That's totally Target.
Tell you what, we have got a terrific Saturday for ACC football here in Pittsburgh. Panthers 7, Hokies 6. With Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis, Wes Durham. Welcome back. Second quarter underway. Malachi Thomas, who's got the Virginia Tech touchdown, squeezes to a Hokie first down at the 29. Kamara and Deslin Alexander on the stop of the young man from Hartwell, Georgia, who's making his season debut today after a August practice injury. That's Lofton in motion here on 1st and 10. Quick throw, and this is Lofton. And Pitt rallies to the ball after a gain of about 4 on the play. Shane Simon, the Notre Dame transfer, and that's Brandon Hill shaken up in the Panther bench area. That's not good. So we'll step aside as they tend to Brandon Hill. Valuable piece of the secondary for Pat Narduzzi. Back in a moment.
Hey, yo, check this axe with 48-hour protection.
Advanced. First ever 72-hour nonstop protection with motion sense. Tested to the limit.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
Superior 72-hour nonstop protection, however much you move.
1-point lead for Pitt, early quarter 2. Don't forget ACC primetime football tonight. Our triple header is capped in Raleigh. Full house at Carter Finley to watch number 14 NC State and Florida State. Mike Monaco, Tim Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs, our coverage at 8 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network, always on the ESPN app. Wells on 2nd and long. That's another catch for Caleb Smith and a reroute for a first down. Hallett finally on the stop, but it's 1st and goal Hokies.
You watch Caleb Smith and runs crisp routes, not the best athlete, not the most explosive, but he consistently makes people miss and consistently is reliable for Grant Wells.
5 for 98. Here's Malachi Thomas right into the teeth of the Pitt defense. Kalijah can't see the stop after a yard.
You know, early on in this game, I really like what Tyler Bowen's done with his 2 tight ends in the game. We've seen a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, Julius and Gallo in the game, but they presented it differently. A lot of stuff with one inline and one kind of as an H-back, but they've done some 5 wide receiver looks with that as well. Now they've got an unbalanced line with those 2 tight ends.
And Jalen Holston, 0 in the backfield. Play fake Wells, and Gallo, the intended receiver, and a flag thrown. Pass interference, I believe, against Eric Hallett.
Pass interference, defense number 31. Foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
11th play coming up will be another 1st and goal opportunity for Virginia Tech against Pat Narduzzi's defense.
How about the second pass interference called along with the defensive holding for this defense? Watch Hallett 31 come in the bottom right of your screen, grabs the hip of Gallo. And if you have that hip, that arm wrapped around him as you come across the other way, it's going to get called.
Holston chopped down Kamara at the 1. But golly, Kamara has been a guy who's been around the football a lot, Roddy, in the last couple of weeks.
He has. He's really coming into his own with that star, that strong side linebacker spot, which in this defense is almost like a combination between a nickel, a linebacker. He's been big for him.
Hokies driving for the lead here. Early in period 2, Thomas back in, whistle blows. And a timeout, I think. Pat Narduzzi.
Prior to the snap, timeout was called by Pittsburgh. First charge of this half. 30-second timeout.
So the head coach of the Panthers in his 8th year tied for third among wins in Pitt coaching history. Wants to talk to his unit here.
Got his workout sprinting down there to call that timeout. Interesting to see with Virginia Tech. They ran it in on the last time, and I think ideally Brent Pry would love to have the type of offense that you get in the 2-yard line and it's hand the ball to the running back downhill, get in the end zone. But again, we talked about it. They struggled with that a bit this year, although today I think the offensive line has been much better than it certainly was last week.
Tyler Bowen, the offensive coordinator. He's got Brad Glenn upstairs with him today too, Roddy, the quarterback's coach. Different viewpoint for Glenn, who had started the season on the field for Pry as their quarterback's coach. Very talented QB coach. Here's Thomas now back in the ball game with Wells. They'll hand the ball to Malachi, steps out of one tackle and be brought down at the 1. David Green had him dead to rights, and Malachi Thomas stepped out of that, but then Baldonado and Dennis make the stop to force 3rd and goal.
Doesn't matter who the defensive tackles are for Pittsburgh. If you don't have everything shored up, they're going to make your life tough. You had David Green and Devin Danielson in the backfield. Now Virginia Tech may have to get creative on this 3rd down play, get in the end zone.
Julius, the tight end to the left. 2 receivers right. Here's Wells pushing the pocket right. Panthers chasing. Wells throws. It's caught. It's incomplete. Lofton, the intended receiver. It's ruled incomplete. Did Lofton have it secured? It looked like falling out of the end zone, Roddy.
It's a great play by Eric Howard, who punches it out right at the end. You're going to see Lofton doesn't really think that Wells is going to throw it. He has it. Wow. Eric Hallett sticks the hand in, knocks it out. It's a great play by the safety, not giving up. And even before that, they had a pick set up. Eric Hallett goes under the pick and then is able to make the play. What a stand by Pitt on defense.
Ross can still put the Hokies in front. 18-yard chip shot. And it is good with about 3 minutes gone here in the second period. Brent Pry's team in front, 2 on the road at Pitt.
New degree advanced. First ever 72-hour nonstop protection with motion sense. Tested to the limit.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
Superior 72-hour nonstop protection, however much you move.
There's one thing everyone...
Well, last Saturday night, following the NC State-Clemson game, longtime ACC football official Tom Zamorski passed away. Tom was an on-field football official in the Atlantic Coast Conference for 13 years, and after concluding his on-field career, he was a referee of the ACC crew in the 2013 Cotton Bowl to celebrate his legacy. And then he was an instant replay official for the last 10 years. Including the assignment at last year's championship game, which Pitt beat Wake Forest in. Tom, beloved by the entire roster of ACC football officials, and he and his wife Carol, their 2 daughters. Please keep all of those folks in your prayers for a native Virginian and a terrific figure in ACC football, Tom Zamorski. And you see Riley Johnson's crew and all these ACC crews today wear the Z patch on their hats to remember their friend. And a guy who loved this league and the people in it, along with its football, Tom Zamorski. Ball got fumbled on the return by Sebo Flemister, and that goes nowhere. Took his eye off of it around the 10, and Sebo Flemister, the Notre Dame transfer, got hit by Nasir Peoples, who was wearing the Beamer 25, and Pitt's backed up again for the 3rd time in 4 possessions.
Just lets it get to his chest. It's right off his chest plate of those shoulder pads. It's going to be an uphill battle for Pitt. They've had terrible field position in this game so far.
The 5, the 5, the 20, and now the 10 for Frank Cignetti Jr., the Panthers offensive coordinator. First down, here's Abanikanda trying to find an alley and nothing. In fact, gave one back to the house, Roddy. Mario Kendricks, the senior defensive tackle, first guy there, and Virginia Tech is playing in the backfield one more time. You see the discrepancy in starting positions, huh?
It's been significant. And these two defensive tackles for Virginia Tech have given Pitt's interior offensive line a little bit of trouble. Mix Dax Hollifield in there. And other than the big run of Abanikanda, it's been a tough go for Pitt.
Pistol here for Slovis. Wants to take a shot. Zips it off the hands of Bradley and intercepted. Keontae Jenkins comes up
Rolling
with
on the
pick.
field, the ball was tipped, intercepted by Virginia Tech. First down.
So 2 plays in, Pittsburgh falls back into the turnover problem, Roddy, of last Saturday night here.
They do, and the ball is just a little bit high. He's trying to go over the referee. And while that ball is high, it's off the hands of Jaden Bradley, and he gets up looking at Kedon Slovis, tapping himself. I don't know if he's saying, hey, that's on me, or hit me in the chest, but either way, ends up in an interception. Nice job by Keontae Jenkins. Virginia Tech, after being a little bit lifeless at times after North Carolina jumped ahead, they've got great field position.
Take a shot here.
I think so. Yeah, it's worked for him today.
Malachi Thomas with Grant Wells.
Single coverage to the bottom.
Off the Pitt 25. Wells, quick throw. Thomas slipping out of the backfield. Picks up 5. 6 on the play. 2nd and 4 after the Savassier Dennis tackle. Boy, what a nice piece of benefit to get Malachi Thomas back today for Brent Brock.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is it gives him depth. Keyshawn King has been the bright spot, but you got to be able to spell those guys at running back.
2nd down 4. King returns. He'll get the carry. Slides through. 10, 5. Virginia Tech in the end zone with Keyshawn King. 2nd touchdown run of the year.
And they cash in on the Keontae Jenkins interception. But watch the linebackers. You're going to get a little cross stunt. Servassier Dennis on the backside is going to get picked off on the counter. It opens up a wide open hole. Keyshawn King just explodes through it. And Virginia Tech, after only scoring 10 last week, already 16 on the board.
2 plays, 25 yards. The interception ends up in the Keyshawn King 19-yard run.
Keontae Jenkins gets a great interception, gives his offense great field position, and the Hokies been on the front foot so far in this one.
Roddy, a little bit of a gut check here for the defending champs, huh?
2 weeks in a row, they're getting a little bit of a gut check. I mean, against Georgia Tech, let them in the game, kept them in the game. Confidence grew, and here against Virginia Tech, that's big time. How about the guy in the middle?
What's going on there, Roddy?
Confused.
Can you illustrate that a little bit? What we got? We got
Virginia Tech down here. You had Pitt up top. I mean,
what's going on?
What was going on there? A little confused.
What are we doing there, Roddy? Huh?
I'm not sure.
House divided there? Man divided.
Yeah, I mean, look. You had Virginia Tech, the daughter had on.
Yeah.
The mom had Pitt on. Dad went with Virginia Tech on the bottom, Pitt on top. All kinds of stuff going on.
9-point lead for the Hokies. Kedon Slovis and Pitt going to go. And, of course, ACC huddle coming up about 6:30. Leads you to Raleigh, Florida State, NC State, and then huddle after dark, Roddy. Jordan Cornette, EMAC, good to see Eric back. Full steam ahead. EJ Manuel, Coach Rick.
Yeah.
All the day's highlights. Already Louisville a road winner in the ACC. Doubled the number on Virginia at Charlottesville. 34-17. First down. Abanikanda breaking free. Izzy midfield and tripped up. Nasir Peoples saved a touchdown.
Nasir Peoples better be thanking the sideline there because Izzy Abanikanda absolutely destroys this angle. Nasir Peoples has one hope, and that is to dive and pray, and his prayers were answered as I think he clipped the last cleat that was possible from Izzy Abanikanda.
28-yard run. Here's Abanikanda, and nowhere that time because the Hokies collapsed the left side of Pitt's offensive line.
The 23 Mansour Delane coming off the edge, who did a nice job setting it, turning it back into the defensive line.
Boy, they're excited about Delane.
They are.
Freshman from Silver Spring, Maryland, chose the Hokies over Michigan and Virginia in the recruiting process.
I can't get out of my mind the acceleration by Izzy Abanikanda and the shoestring tackle by Nasir Peoples.
2nd and 11, though, after the play by Delane. There's a long throw and first catch of the day for Bub Means. Transfer from Louisiana Tech, a sliding grab for his 15th catch of the year. Konate Mumfield not playing today. He had 24 catches. Jared Wayne, 19. Bub Means, 14. Gavin Bartholomew, the tight end, 11. 4 double-figure receivers so far through the first 5 games for Pittsburgh. Another throw on the perimeter. Here's Means going to work, trying to ride the Wayne block, and does for a first down. Great third down play by Bub Means. And a pretty nifty little block on the perimeter by Wayne to free up the 13-yard play.
It's a nice job by Wayne, but you get Means making Jalen Stroman miss right in the hole, one-on-one, and that's something that Brent Pry talked to us about. They've got to tackle better. They didn't tackle particularly well last week, and it's cost them a couple times here today with some missed tackles. That one of the most crucial.
Pitt having some success in the throw game here with Slovis. Going to try it on 1st and 10. Taking the deep shot. Wayne is there. Incomplete. Mansour Delane in coverage for Virginia Tech.
You're going to get a hold on Mansour Delane. He got beat by the wily veteran. The true freshman got beat by the wily veteran. Had to grab.
Holding. Defense number 23. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Jared Wayne does a nice job setting him up to the outside, and watch the grab on the back of the jersey. There it is. Just enough to slow Wayne down. Set him up on the outside. Delane opened the door, goes inside. It's probably pretty good to grab and not give up a touchdown.
That's Bartholomew in motion. Abanikanda. Tough run. 9 on the play almost. 8 for sure. He's 2nd and short. Keontae Jenkins, the tackle for Virginia Tech.
One of the hardest things about defending these stretch runs is everyone has to maintain their gap integrity while the gaps are moving. And by the way, you've got offensive linemen climbing to try and cut you off. That time on the backside, Marcus Minor climbs, it's a backside backer and opens up a lane.
Abanikanda with 86 yards. And let's stay at 86. No gain there on the 2nd down play. Fuga again. Big 6 in the white. Making life miserable for Pitt as Chris Marv, his defensive coordinator, has got to love the way his front is handling some of these runs, Roddy. Not all of them, but some of them.
Well, the front is really creating penetration to get in the backfield, and now they've got a 3rd down. Izzy Abanikanda pretty close. I'd expect pass.
Here's a give. Abanikanda trying to fight left side and breaks free. Out of the stand, touchdown. I've heard a leg drive, but come on.
The alignment of Israel Abanikanda in that pistol, he's been closer to Slovis on passing down so that he could get up and block, but they turn and hand it to him. And then how about the finish of this run? He's wrapped up. You're not taking me down. The lower body strength, the balance through contact, just got defenders falling off of him, and then powers into the end zone.
2nd touchdown of the day for Abanikanda, 8th of the year. And Pitt to within 2 after a 7-play, 75-yard drive in 3.5 minutes, Rodney.
Like, how to get it stopped up, and then watch Cole Nelson, 17, come on the backside. He's hanging on to Abanikanda, and he just can't take him down. Abanikanda, too big, too strong, and he's proven today, too fast for this Virginia Tech defense. Tackling a big issue for this defense a week ago against Carolina proves to be an issue today. Remember the 3rd down, Jalen Stroman had Bub Means in the hole. Means makes a miss, gets up the field, then been able to tackle Izzy Abanikanda. It seems like all game. 103 yards. We're barely halfway through the second quarter.
Right. Virginia Tech still with the lead. Abanikanda with his 5th career 100-yard game. Had 177 against Rhode Island, 154 at Tennessee, 133 at Western Michigan. His 5th career game, his 4th this season.
How about the response after throwing the interception by Kedon Slovis in that Pitt offense?
End over end kick, and no return for Keyshawn King. Off we go to the ACC Network studios. Jordan Cornett. Come on, Roddy.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good by
Jordan. JC laying the tracks, right? Off the 25, Thomas chopped down by Hallett. A little swing pass from Wells.
Coastal Division wide open this year. Jordan just showed you Carolina off to the early start, the hot start early on. These two teams, where they're battling, are certainly going to be right there in the mix.
2nd and 8. Wells wants to throw again. Back to Thomas. Kamara the tackle. Bengali Kamara after a gain of a yard.
Bengali Kamara is such a long-range.
Yes, he is.
Outside backer does a great job blitzing. And that time does a nice job in space.
3rd down. Randy Bass trying to get there. Wells' throw is almost picked. Solomon DeShields, the money backer, almost got the payday.
He did. A lot of pressure brought by Pitt, including the corner. Grant Wells just throws it up. It kind of goes between the hands of DeShields, and Jaden Blue had a shot of it as well, but Solomon DeShields, like, oh man, I almost had me one.
First 3 and out of the day for Virginia Tech. Peter Moore to punt to MJ Devonshire. Be careful with 12 in the blue here, Roddy.
Yeah, you should. Pitt looks like it's going to come after it.
Not a great punt. Bounds around, and Panthers will run off and let Virginia Tech down the ball at Pittsburgh's 45. 28-yard punt by Moore. Is the momentum changing? We'll find out in a moment at Pitt. We get ACC primetime football tonight. 8 o'clock kick from Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. Number 14, NC State and Florida State tonight in the Atlantic Division of the ACC. Roderick?
I am fascinated to see that Florida State rushing attack against this rushing defense of NC State. Florida State's had a tough time against good rush defense.
Best starting position for the Panthers. And Slovis, little dump for Bartholomew. Pitt quickly into Hokie territory on the first catch by the tight end, Connor the tackle.
First catch for Bartholomew, but made it count. Nice play action boot. Bartholomew, nobody covering him out there in the flat. Good game.
Pitt
like
playing with an empty set here. Well, no, Abanikanda. It's going to stay in the backfield.
Jamari Connor got the scouting report that Gavin Bartholomew, a little bit of a hurdler.
Yeah.
Stayed up higher than he normally would.
Here is Izzy. To the left side. And maybe 3 on the play to the 28-yard line. Jalen Griffin, Cole Nelson. A couple of Metro Atlanta guys for Chris Marv on defense make the stop. Marv coaches like he played for the Commodores in Nashville. Brett Pry was his position coach under James Franklin. 2nd down. Here's Slovis. Bartholomew again tried to hurdle. And it looked like J.R. Walker got just enough of the big fella from Blue Mountain.
The guy goes airborne. You don't need much. Clip that leg and Bartholomew a little A little upset by it. They tried to get the boot again. Virginia Tech, this time covers it much better. I'm not sure he got him. I think he just had to get him off balance.
Bring up a 3rd down, 7.
3rd and 7.
A lot of room to the field for a quick out if Pitt wants to go there.
Slovis looks that way. Now going to take the shot. Bartholomew can't hold on. Good play by Hollifield. You like football, 4 in the white's your guy. That is some kind of football player. 43rd start today. 9th all-time in tackles in Hokie history coming into today with 313, Roddy.
And coming into today, 2,300 career snaps on defense for Dax Hollifield. That's the definition of the guy's seen it all, now a long field goal attempt.
47 yards the try for Sauls. Would be one shy of his longest. He had 48 at Kalamazoo in the win at Western Michigan. And Sauls pushes it through, and Pitt's got the lead. 10 Panther points, Roddy, in 3 minutes and 3 seconds here.
They've responded. Drive down the field. It's been a nice balance, too. I think Pat Narduzzi will be pleased with how his offense has responded today after some early up and downs. But if you're Virginia Tech, I mean, think of the mishaps you've had so far. You're down by 1 late in the second quarter, but you get an extra point blocked because of a low kick by the field goal kicker. And then Brent Pry with the false start on a 4th and 1 that backed him up to 4th and 6. Delay a game after that. Pry not calling the timeout when they were going to kick a long field goal that when they kicked it actually went through, backed them up even further, so they have to punt. So still some stuff out there that Virginia Tech has left, but the offense now with the chance to respond after Pitt started to find some momentum on the offensive side of the ball.
Chance Black deep. And Sauls to kick it away. Panthers with the 1-point lead. No return here. Pittsburgh leads by 1. So let's go downstairs to Taylor.
Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Moss Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag StudentSectionSauce to get the committee's attention and go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Guys, 3 weeks here at Pitt feels like home for us now, but we've got a great crowd down here as well.
Speaking of that, it is homecoming, I think, here at Pittsburgh, and there is Wells, got tattooed as he got back to the line of scrimmage by David Green.
This feels like a big drive for Virginia Tech. It's been back and forth. They got the ball first in the game. Now here late in the second quarter, you don't want to give Pitt the ball back with time. Certainly you don't want to give him back the opportunity to get a 2-for-1 with you being down 1 in the game.
Wells on a 2nd and 10. And Narduzzi's going to bang the timeout here.
30-second timeout.
I think
Pittsburgh.
The 8th-year coach of the Panthers is thinking along your lines here, Roddy. If we can get a stop, do we have enough time maybe to do something, huh?
Yeah, if that's the thought, then you either call that timeout earlier or you wait. I mean, I think he saw something that he didn't like.
Okay.
I think they had a wrong alignment, because if you're thinking along those lines, I mean, they run that play, and then after it, there's going to be, I don't know, 3:15 left at the most.
Right.
You call the timeout then, you stop them on 3rd down, then you can call another one if you want, or you let the clock run down. You're going to get the ball with more than 2 minutes left. So I don't know, that was a little confusing if it was a timing aspect, but not if it was some confusion.
All right. We'll keep an eye on it. Wells to work. Hokies have all 3, by the way. And the quarterback wants to throw. Baldonado got to him and takes that throw offline incomplete. Closest guy to it was Tyler Wiltz, a Pitt linebacker. 3rd and 10 now.
It's just a mismatch.
quarterback's arm was hit.
You've got Haba Baldonado right here, and you're going to get the tight end blocking him coming across. It's going to end up being number 86, Nick Gallo, who comes across to try and block him. Haba Baldonado just able to rip around him and get to Grant Wells, force a 3rd down.
Empty set for Wells. Quick throw on the perimeter. That's Chance Black. And goes nowhere. That brings up 4th down after a yard. Brandon Hill, the stop for Pitt. And the clock continues to run, so that validates your thought a moment ago about Narduzzi seeing something he didn't like.
Yeah, and there's plenty of time left. So if you're going to play the timing game, I think he would have played that a little bit differently. The incomplete pass certainly helps. Pitt's going to have plenty of time, and they saved the timeout.
Panthers have posted 2 3-and-outs of the Hokies on offense, and here's Devonshire waiting on the Peter Moore punt. 8 guys up on the line here. Moore, wobbly kick. No chance for Devonshire. It will bounce out of bounds near the 40-yard line, and a marker down on the play.
It's 2 pretty poor punts from Virginia Tech, but let's see what the flag is, because if it's roughing, it's an automatic first down. If it's just the running into, then that would not result in a first down, but they would get to kick it again.
Riley Johnson.
Running into the kicker, defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
Pitt will go from its 35, Roddy.
Called it on Tyler Wiltz. Took Moore a long time to get that off. Yeah, I guess, yes, that is running into the kicker. It is. Very unintentional, but I think the best thing for Virginia Tech is they'll get to kick it again if you're Pitt. This is a second straight, pretty subpar punt. So Moore can get a good one away here.
And you're not punting it to just your average guy at the corner now.
No, he's pretty good.
Yep, Devonshire, number 1 in the ACC, 15th nationally, 12.5 yards and a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Rhode Island. Beamer ball will have to be on its game here. Baldonado almost got to it, did get to it. And guess what's going to happen? It's going to be virtually the same spot on the field.
Virginia Tech went from being sort of lucky a second ago to just completely blowing this. A complete whiff by the up back. Looked like that was Drake Dulius. Punt gets blocked, and then they're lucky when the ball hits the ground. They got a great bounce. That bounces sideways. Pitt gets the ball in Virginia Tech territory. This is after getting that blocked, it's about as good as Stu Holtz could ask for, the special teams coordinator.
Oh. Coach Holt, tough half here with the punt game.
Yeah.
Ball at the 41 now. 2:30 and 1 timeout left for Pittsburgh. Abanikanda tried to hit the cutback, it looked like. Slipped down right in front of Jamari Connor. Maybe a yard.
Pitt has plenty of time right now.
Boy, Wayne's been quiet, Roddy.
He has. You ran the ball on first down. After this, you're going to have to sort of get into your little more up-tempo once you got your personnel group in.
Abanikanda on the ground again. 3 yards. Keontae Jenkins the stop. Wayne had 3 catches for 29 in the first period. Nothing here in quarter 2. And shaken up on the play.
Injury timeout.
Is Gabe Hoy, who has been in and out of the Pitt lineup.
Game clock operator, let's put 1:48
games
on the game clock. Thank you.
You hear the reset by Riley Johnson. There's a look at Hoy, the 5th-year senior from Upper St. Clair. Just one of a couple dozen guys from this Western PA Pittsburgh area. Some of the proud football that gets played here on Friday nights in this area. Fantastic tradition to go along with this program here.
Be interesting to see what Pitt does here. 3rd down, 148. You throw the ball. Virginia Tech has 3 timeouts. So if it's an incomplete pass, they're going to get the ball back with plenty of time and those timeouts. If you run it, probably less of a chance of getting the first down, although Izzy Abanikanda has had some big runs, but you can pull one of those timeouts Because of the timeout situation, I think if I'm Pittsburgh, you're not afraid to throw the ball here. Virginia Tech's going to have plenty of time no matter what.
Vincent Davis has checked in with Slovis in the backfield.
I'm not sure that extra timeout that you'd be pulling is worth it.
3rd and 7 for Slovis. From the pocket. And couldn't tell if it was Bradley or Wayne that was the intended receiver, Roddy. Thrown right between the two guys, it looked like.
It really did. I thought initially he was going to Wayne. Bradley was coming open.
Bradley backed off, it looked like.
I don't know if he changed his mind halfway or what. Bradley looked like he was throttling down, but even so, that would have been off the mark. That's a strange play.
Yep. You see the numbers for Slovis, and here is Vanderhaar, the Aussie, to punt it away to Jaden Black. Or Jaden Blue, rather. And the ball popped loose. It is scooped up and recovered, but I think Blue is going to be ruled down at the 20. I think, yet again, his knee might have bailed him out this time. Because...
Ruling on the field, the ball carrier's knee was down before the ball's out. First out.
I mean, that's really bang off of the first look, because even if he's down, he has to catch it. Yeah, I guess so. He had it for long enough.
That ball got scooped up.
But it was quick. I mean, he secured the catch, the knees down. That's a good call by the officials, and fortunate for Virginia Tech.
How about Vincent Davis on the punt cover, Roddy?
You know, he was run down on punt coverage a lot over the course of his career. Does a good job there.
All right, 3 timeouts for Brent Pry. His team trails a point with the football. Remember, Panthers are going to have the ball to start half 2. The crowd not happy at all.
Tech is able to put a drive together.
Wells airmails one.
Yeah, and the crowd's not happy, which the right call was made by the officials. Obviously, they're looking at it upstairs, too. I thought that they kind of nailed that. But Virginia Tech, big thing here is, number 1, protecting Grant Wells, giving them an opportunity to throw the football. And secondly, they got to get open, which has been a struggle at times for them this year.
Wells going to run straight with Malachi Thomas, and he will pick up the first down out to the 32. A dozen for Thomas in his season debut here in half 1.
I like that call by Tyler Bowen. Sneaking a run in there. With 3 timeouts, you can do that as much as you want until you get down to a little bit further.
Wells trying to cut it loose. Alexander was closing, and he fires it over the top of Thomas, incomplete. So inside of a minute.
You know, they haven't really taken the shots downfield as consistently as I thought. I think Caleb Moore early on the offsides, and then another one, but this is one of those opportunities to take a shot downfield, challenge these corners.
2nd and 10. Wells hit as he throws, and Smith, a terrific catch again. Right in front of the Pitt bench goes Caleb Smith. Roddy, you just talked about it.
Well, it's a great catch. It's a great throw by Grant Wells. And Smith does a nice job of giving Wells the sideline to work with so that he's able to fade away from the defender, Devonshire, and be able to catch that football. Explosive plays. Virginia Tech needed him in this game, and they've gotten him today.
6 for 128 in the first half for Caleb Smith. Thomas. And now Brent Pry, I think, is going to burn a timeout here. After Malachi Thomas picked up a handful on first down.
30-second charge timeout, Virginia Tech.
So now the dynamic with 46 seconds to go in this first half. 2 timeouts for Virginia Tech. They're plus field at the 33. And 2nd and 5 the next snap.
And you're telling, if you're Brent Pry, you're telling Tyler Bowen upstairs, look, we got 2 timeouts. Routes in the middle of the field, still available. Running the football, if you want to pop a run, still available. But Grant Wells, the big thing is you can't take a sack here.
Right.
Because that'll knock you out of any sort of hope for field goal range without it, and you'll have to burn a timeout.
Looks to me, though, Pitt is also trying to flush Wells, and they're playing man in the back.
That's how they play. So if I'm Pitt, it's a little too early because of the timeouts and the threat of the run to jump in your third down package necessarily. They still got 4 defensive linemen on the field. But I would try and heat up the pocket too. I mean, Virginia Tech's going empty, though, to kind of make Pitt declare, clear up the window, clear up the picture for Grant Wells.
Here is Wells. Panthers bring 4, and a throw in the middle of the field to Smith, short of the first down. Simon the stop. And an injured Panther back at the 42.
Injury timeout. This qualifies for a 10-second runoff.
This is Kalijah Cansey, who is shaken up on the play, Roddy.
I think Virginia Tech would decline that 10-second runoff almost assuredly. But it does give them the opportunity. I mean, they did not call a timeout, so it does give them an opportunity to regroup, not to mention the fact that Pitt's best defensive lineman is going to miss a play at least. You hope the health of Kalijah Cansey, hope that he's okay. Riley Johnson over there talking to Brent Pry.
So Riley Johnson, Brent Pry, and let's see what we get. I think, Roddy,
Virginia Tech has chosen not to remove the 10 seconds. Game clock operator, let's put 38 seconds up on the clock.
Let's do that.
Thank you.
All right, let us check in with Taylor Davis as they tend to Kalijah Cansey.
Yeah, guys, another defensive star that's been getting looked at over here by trainers is Haba Baldonado. He's been over here on the sideline. They've been looking at his shoulder, clearly wincing and in a lot of pain over here on the sideline. And that's a guy who's missed time this season already. Really a story for Pitt this year has been veteran presences dealing with injury and having to sit out, as we see Cansey, one of those guys right now, really important pieces that they need out there.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Taylor. Deslin Alexander's missed a lot of time for them up front. He's just now worked his way back in. And a couple of weeks ago when we had them against Rhode Island, the majority of the 2 deep missed some time. So we'll see if those guys are able to return.
Well, the value of the captains. Pat Narduzzi talked about it with us yesterday. And you see Carter Warren missing a second game today. Slovis missed the Western Michigan game. Dennis has kind of been the guy this week Randy Bates talked about. Here is Wells on a follow play, and he will pick up the first down. And Brent Pry going to take another timeout with 32 seconds left after the play there. Hokies down to 1 here, Roddy, with half minute to go.
Yeah, I think Virginia Tech
30-second timeout. Virginia Tech, second of this half.
Managed this drive pretty well. I would imagine now the picture changes. 1 timeout, you want to save that as long as you can. So if it's a play in the middle of the field, you'd love to get a first down so you can save that last timeout. If you get the first down, you've got enough time to get up and spike it so you can save that timeout if you choose. But Virginia Tech has had success sneaking in these runs. So how do you balance that is sort of the big question. I would expect them, before this half is over, you take a shot for the end zone. Connor Blumrick has been very quiet in this game. They talked about trying to find matchups with him on one of these safeties. Is this the time that you can find it? Look for Blumrick or Caleb Smith. One of those two. Those two have been the go-tos.
Blumrick in the slot on the left side, right Blumrick there with Smith.
Both to the bottom.
Yep. 2-by-2 look for Wells. Thomas is his running back. Loads and throws offline for Thomas with Simon defending and a marker down.
Personal foul. Number 70 on the offense, grabbing the face mask. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Parker Clements guilty on that one for Brent Pry's team.
One of the most penalized teams in the ACC, and this one is a costly one. And you were well within field goal range, and that 15-yarder puts you on the edge at best. 6 penalties for 49 yards for Virginia Tech today.
Here's Wells looking. Now in trouble. Servassier Dennis. What a time for Pitt's first sack of the day.
And if you're Brent Pry, I mean, I think you call a timeout right before the half is over and maybe throw one in the end zone. But such a promising drive. First, it's the face mask, and then Grant Wells kind of drifts away from his protection. There was some heat coming from his front side, drifts away from it right into the waiting arms of Servassier Dennis. Virginia Tech has indeed called the timeout.
The half is not over. The half is not over. Timeout was called by Virginia Tech with 2 seconds left on the game clock. So game clock operator, please put 2 seconds back up on the game clock. Thank you.
It's almost like they've wired our booth here.
I always offer it to the officials. I'm willing to help anytime. But the story for Virginia Tech, I think, in the first half is missed opportunities. And this drive probably sort of encapsulates what Virginia Tech has gone through today. They've had opportunities, haven't been able to take advantage of all of them. And they were surely going to walk out of here with at least a field goal attempt, and now you're going to be throwing one into the end zone and hoping for something good to happen. Connor Blumrick, though, 6'5", 222 pounds. He's in the middle right here. That's probably the guy that you're looking for if you're not going for the one-on-one with Caleb Smith.
And now Pat Narduzzi's going to counter with a timeout. Blumrick,
before the snap,
second from the top
Pittsburgh
of the formation.
Called their third and final timeout of this half.
You
coach, counter coach here at the end.
You want to see the formation where guys are lined up, talk to them. But if you're Virginia Tech, this is one of those things you practice all the time. And you remember the App State Troy Hail Mary?
Yes.
Like, that's the Hail Mary to perfection, where you get the guy bat it to another guy who's kind of trailing. He catches it and goes for a touchdown.
Right.
Let's see if we get there.
More red pen with Brent Pry here, by the way, at the end of the first half.
Yeah, a lot of red pen.
Yeah.
A lot of red pen. Does he have another color pen in that pocket? I haven't seen one.
I'm with you, though. The missed opportunities by Virginia Tech here, and Pitt survived the interception, Roddy, early in the second period.
Yeah, they did.
Caleb Smith's got a career high, by the way, receiving in this first half. He's a guy to keep an eye on here. He's bottom of the screen. Final snap of the half. Wells can throw it out of the stadium. He'll throw it in the end zone. Hallett, the interception. Eric Hallett comes up with his 8th career pick and his 3rd of the year to seal this first half.
It's good defense by the Panthers, but Brent Pry, when he gets in the locker room, I mean, you are talking to your team about the penalties and the missed opportunities. Hallett cuts in front of the football. Let's see. Let's go down to Taylor. In large part due to the return of Izzy Abanikanda. After missing a lot of last week's game against Georgia Tech, he has been as advertised. He's been explosive. He's been powerful. At times, he's been untackleable. I don't even know if that's a word, Wes, but it would describe Izzy Abanikanda. Today, Virginia Tech's going to have to do a better job with him in the second half.
Here is Abanikanda starting the second half on the kick return and around the corner and shoved out of bounds. Shy of the 30-yard line. Let's check with Taylor Davis.
Yeah, guys, I spoke with a very optimistic Brent Pry coming out of the locker room at halftime. He said, I am incredibly proud and encouraged of the way our guys are competing. He said, for the first time this year, we're playing complementary football, which was the goal heading into this matchup. 2 guys he mentioned specifically, Roddy, you said it, Caleb Smith and, of course, quarterback Grant Wells. He said they are showing confidence. He challenged his guys to take that on in the second half.
And here is Slovis with Abanikanda off his right hip to start the third period. That's Bradley in motion and a throw on the perimeter to Jaden Bradley. Slips through a couple of cracks in the wall and took an enormous hit from Shamari Connor. The Hokies have a long tradition of safeties that will check your pockets.
Yes, they do.
Holding, offense number 15, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That holding by Bub Means is going to negate a big play, but this was the beginning of the second half last week against Georgia Tech. 10 plays and a fumble, punt, interception, fumble to start that second half, and it really set the tone for Georgia Tech to take control of that game. Pat Narduzzi is going to be looking for his offense to get a better start to the second half. That penalty will certainly not help their cause.
Yep. So to back them up off the first down mark. So first and 20 now for Slovis. And you can believe, Roddy, the note you just passed about last week's second half. Everybody in that huddle knows it.
I'm sure that was talked about at halftime,
sure,
at least amongst the offensive crew.
That's Means in the orbit. Slovis cuts it loose. Nice catch off a knee. That's Jaden Bradley. And he made up almost all the yardage there. It'll be second down and short, 2 for a first down.
Pretty good job by Kedon Slovis of navigating the pressure. A couple of guys in his face and delivers an accurate ball.
Pistol set on 2nd and 2. Abanikanda tries to hit the cutback, and that's a heck of a play, and that is Peoples. Nasir Peoples, wearing Frank Beamer's 25, gets behind the line for his 4th tackle for the season behind the stripe.
It was a nice job bringing Izzy Abanikanda down and creating that third down. There was a lot of room to run had he not been able to tackle him.
Yep. It's almost like a calling card of the Cignetti offense, isn't it? The kind of bend back.
Yeah. Well, it's what's going to happen with that stretch zone if you get over pursuit from the backside.
Slovis going to throw here, looking inside. Now he couldn't get Bradley underneath, and Means not able to make the grab. That was thrown well over his head. So Pitt's just 4 of 9 on 3rd down, and that's going to be 3 and out. And it's the 4th time today the Panthers have been forced into that situation by Virginia Tech.
Well, you could see there were a lot of Virginia Tech defenders around the box. Kedon Slovis letting his receivers know to be alert for a blitz. Well, they end up not blitzing. They dropped into coverage, forced the incompletion.
Kakavitsis, who's got 1 punt return on the year, flags that one down over the shoulder on the fair catch at the 15-yard line. And that's where Virginia Tech will take over. Grant Wells sent out here almost 2 minutes into the 3rd.
I should have taken a shot at returning that one.
So here comes Wells, and Virginia Tech trailing a point.
Grant Wells did a nice job in the first half. You can excuse that interception. I know it's going to stick around, but it was a Hail Mary at the end of the first half.
That's Gallo, the tight end, resetting left side. Malachi Thomas, and he'll scramble for about 4 to the 19. Worst starting position for a Hokie drive today. And there's the native Arizona, Kedon Slovis, on the phone upstairs with Frank Cignetti Jr., the offensive coordinator who also handles the QBs. Thomas again. Flipped over that time. Heck of a play. Marquez Williams in from the corner slot.
It's perfectly played by John Morgan, the defensive end. He spills that play. Wrong shoulders the block. It bounces out. Gallo Kamara was right there, and then he forces him outside. And now you get into that 3rd and medium range where Pitt likes to get in their 3rd down package.
Hokies just 2 of 7. Last week in Chapel Hill, they were 2 for 10.
The tough thing about Pitt is figuring out which of these defenders are going to come. They can send 6 at you and play man, or they can drop, play zone.
Playing 4 on the rush. Wells under duress, offline for Smith, incomplete. Cansey back in the ball game. Alexander forcing Wells the errant throw. So a pair of 3 and outs greet us here to start half 2.
We calmed down a little bit offensively. Pitt did a nice job of covering his man-to-man on the back end. They only sent 3, had a couple guys in the middle, sort of clogging up lanes, and forces Virginia Tech into their 3 and out.
Devonshire waits on the Peter Moore punt. Not a great punt by Moore. Wobbly kick. It's going to bounce over the midfield line and be down by Connor at the 48. And that is a 32-yard punt. And we'll step aside. 1-point lead for Pittsburgh. They'll have the ball next.
Pitt with a 1-point lead over Virginia Tech. Now, coming out of the locker room at halftime, I saw Dax Hollifield leave the locker room first ahead of his teammates. He got to the end of the tunnel and turned around and high-fived and encouraged all of his teammates as they took the field. It has been well documented what this guy means to this program. He is a core piece and will have to be in the second half as well.
Yeah, he is a terrific football player. Busted play. On first down, this may work out. Slovis is going to step out of bounds. I think he got almost 5 on the play. And he had 0 when he came from under center.
It's one of those where Frank Signetti might come out and say, let's put that in the playbook.
Yeah.
Busted play. He went the wrong way. You can see him kind of tapping his chest.
Got 4. Play fake Slovis. Pressure coming. Got to cut it loose. Does. Wayne, a terrific catch ahead of the hit by Amani Chapman. Third down, and I don't know enough for the first down. They spotted his progress to the 41, Roddy.
It's a nice job of Slovis staring down the barrel and delivering an accurate ball.
1st and 10, Abanikanda got a nice block from Carter Johnson, the tight end. Jaden Keller makes the tackle, but it's a 7-yard gain on first down for Izzy.
How about the tempo for Pitt? Not necessarily to throw it, but a couple tight ends in the game. We've seen condensed sets. Time to get a lead blocker and Carter Johnson out front. Big game.
Here's a play fake. Slovis, and throws it away. Pressure from the backside from Jenkins. Dax Hollifield, and look, we said this at the top, 9th all-time now in tackles at Virginia Tech. But he's one of these, I don't want to say elder statesmen, but it fits with Hollifield, Roddy, that is helping Brent Pry in year 1. Immeasurably.
Came back just to do just that. Had an opportunity to leave. Guy that's played 2,300 career snaps. Big third down here.
Abanikanda left side, and Hollifield keeps it from being a bigger play. Takes him down to 29.
With the center, Jake Cradle gets enough on Hollifield to get Izzy Abanikanda the first down. Excellent job of climbing to the second level. Watch the center, 53. Secures the gap, works up, gets Hollifield. Izzy Abanikanda gets the first down.
5 tackles for Hollifield. First down, Pitt, 5 minutes old into the second period. Abanikanda fires through and scores.
Watch the middle of your screen, the backside guard and the center, Jake Cradle working together to secure the backside. Izzy Abanikanda hits the cutback, and then we've seen the speed over and over today. Virginia Tech's defensive backfield has had no shot when Izzy Abanikanda turns on the Jets.
3rd score of the day for Abanikanda. In a half dozen plays, Pitt pushes the lead, Roddy, to 8 points.
Number 2 has shown up. The star is back, and he is shining bright in Pittsburgh.
number 2 from Brooklyn, and Abraham Lincoln High School's been the show today for Pittsburgh. 3 touchdowns for Abanikanda. Had 177 on 19 carries against Rhode Island with 4 scores. Today, 21 carries, 149, 3 scores, which gives him 9 on the year for Pat Narduzzi.
Still have 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
Saul's kick will go over the head of King, and now the Hokies, Roddy, who had some offensive rhythm in half 1, but now there's an urgency about that rhythm and an urgency about this unit with Grant Wells.
Yeah, you're going to have to match Pitt. You don't want to get down to the point where you're having to drop back and throw it all the time. Finding ways to get Keyshawn King the ball, run the football like they did in the first half. I would continue to challenge Pitt there. And then Caleb Smith, you cannot forget about 80 on the outside. Got to make sure to force him the ball too.
Wells into the boundary. That got batted down. Shane Simon. And also it looked like Chris Maloney. There he is, the big 5th-year senior from Fort Washington, PA.
Maloney's right there on the edge, 96. Jumps up, knocks the ball down. Nice shot. That's going to be an easy pitch and catch. I like the play call, trying to get 5 yards on first down at least, but Maloney did a nice job reading the quarterback.
Gonna try King. Nope. That is Tyler Wiltz. Speaking of elder statesmen, he turns 24 in November. A lot of college football under number 10's belt at a lot of places.
At a lot of places. And Pat Narduzzi told us he's a playmaker. He's going to play more today. Made a play there. And now for Virginia Tech, it's about giving Grant Wells enough time to find the holes in this Virginia Tech defense.
Quick throw, Wells, and through the wickets of Connor Blumrick. I think he was trying to sneak a peek downfield, Roddy.
I think he was too. I'm not sure that play had much to it anyway. You had pursuit from the inside. You had blockers, but it looked like a number of Pitt defenders had a free shot. Forces a punt on a quick 3-and-out for Virginia Tech.
Moore's averaged about 31 yards here today. Been a tough day punting for Virginia Tech. And Devonshire signals for the fair catch and does so running at the 44. 4 straight punts for Virginia Tech. That one 31 yards. Well, obviously the events in Southwest Florida last week were tragic, and now we're asking you to help those impacted by Hurricane Ian. Donate now at redcross.org/ESPN if you can to help the Red Cross prepare for, respond to, and help folks recover from the, just tragic events of Hurricane Ian 10 days ago in Southwest Florida. The pictures out of there have been, just heartbreaking.
They absolutely have been. If you can donate and help those individuals, please do.
Ball at the 44 for Slovis. Play fake for Abanikanda. Wayne is wide open. You check it down. Here's Carter Johnson, the tight end. And Carter Johnson breaks free. First down into Virginia Tech territory. Banged out at the 43 by the freshman Jaden McDonald.
Some play action to Jared Wayne on the post, and then Jaden Bradley on a deep over route. I thought he could have taken a shot at either one of those, but didn't like it. Checks it down to Carter Johnson. Able to pick up the first down. I don't mind it. If you're a quarterback and you don't like what you're seeing downfield, find your check down and take the profit.
Slovis with plenty of time now steps to his right and will throw it. And he had at one point a receiver in the area. Jalen Griffin, though, was closing the angle on him. Jaden Bradley was the closest guy in a yellow helmet to that football. Riley Johnson going to stay with incomplete here.
This is the last play. Look in the middle of the field. Jared Wayne, he's got Wayne if he wants to throw it to him. There's bodies around, but gets out of the pocket, it looks like, just barely, and throws it across the line of scrimmage.
And Abanikanda on second and long, Roddy. I think is kicked it just enough to get the first down at the 31.
Izzy Abanikanda already has 22 carries. On Pitt, you don't want to run him into the ground, but he might touch 40 today.
Tell you what else he might touch is 200 yards if you don't get him on the ground. Abanikanda, look at the fight, Roddy.
Abanikanda with the ball.
Okay, I'm going to play the strength of the old running back here.
Okay.
What do you like him? I mean, the speed is one thing, right?
Yeah.
The durability we've talked about. But the leg drive and the second, third effort stuff is real.
Yeah, I think his strength is underrated. I mean, he's all at 215 pounds. But you're right, the balance through contact. He's a no-nonsense runner.
Slovis shoots it. Bartholomew the catch. First down, Pitt. Jalen Stroman the tackle on Gavin Bartholomew.
Well, Virginia Tech brings a blitz. We've been talking about Izzy. Watch him come up. Another block right there in the hole to let Kedon Slovis sling it downfield. Steps up. Dax Hollifield comes, gets a shoulder to him. Gives his quarterback a chance to toss it.
And Abanikanda to the 5 before Connor. A lot of pack of Hokies on the stop.
Now Virginia Tech, this would be a big stop for this defense. Offense is struggling to get something going.
Second down. Izzy left side. Touchdown, Pitt.
Feels like this offensive line is starting to wear down Virginia Tech on defense. Nice seal there by Gonsalves. Works up. Is able to get into the end zone. Excuse me, that was Branson Taylor, 78. Nice job on the left side by the big fella, getting Izzy Abanikanda in the end zone.
7-play drive for the touchdown. The point by Solves is good. And it's 31-16, Roddy, in a matter of about 3 minutes here.
Yeah, well, Izzy Abanikanda had 4 touchdowns against Rhode Island earlier this year. His second game with 4 rushing touchdowns on the season.
New degree advanced. First ever 72-hour nonstop protection with motion sense. Tested to the limit.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
Superior 72-hour nonstop protection, however much you move.
Fall moments made easy. That's totally Target.
6:48 to go in the third, and with Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis, Wes Durham, Andrea Crawford is our producer, Peter Loomis, our director. Great to have you with us at Acrisure Stadium this afternoon on ACC Network. And Roddy, we're in the process of watching Izzy Abanikanda do some things. 4 rushing scores for the second time this year. You see week 4 against Rhode Island. Last 25 years, Roddy. Look at this list.
See, that list is extremely distinguished, especially when you're the only player on it that's done it twice other than James Conner.
The Terminator. As my buddy Dave Archer used to call him. Hokies off the 25 to try and build back here, but it's going to take a heck of an effort for a prize team who trails by 15. Malachi Thomas had a first rushing score of the season back in the opening period today to tie the game. And second down coming up.
It's kind of a worst-case scenario for Virginia Tech. The offense has come out and sputtered a little bit, and the defense hasn't been able to keep them in the game. That's sort of the complimentary football stuff that Brent Pry said to Taylor coming out of half that they haven't done so far.
Wells slings it. Caleb Smith, who's got a career day receiving with the grab in front of MJ Devonshire. Out at the 38. Flag on the play behind the throw. Riley Johnson.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 10. 15-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the run. First down.
Tyler Wiltz tagged.
That was what helped Virginia Tech on the drive in the first half, too. That's a bad call.
Not sure about that one.
I think they thought that Tyler Wiltz got Grant Wells in the face, which would be pass interference. But if anything, it was a fingernail. That's a bad call. And Pat Narduzzi is well within his right to be upset about.
Yep. 1st and 10, plus territory for the Hokies and Thomas. He is covered up at the 46. The man coaches like he played, Roddy.
It's hard-nosed. It's why he's fit so well here.
I agree.
He's embraced not only this city, but he's embraced the really a demeanor of tough, hard-nosed football. He's established an identity here for the Pitt Panthers.
Yep. Of course, the defending champs in the ACC from a season ago. Straight drop for Wells. 2nd and 9, and now bailing. And he will throw it over the top of the Pittsburgh bench. 3rd and 9 will be the next snap. It was Cansey that was in pursuit, and you see Narduzzi talking to Riley Johnson, giving him the what for on the call against Tyler Wiltz.
He was asking some simple questions like, "Are you kidding me?" And "I can't believe it. What is that?" But it's a 3rd down. And if I'm Brent Pry, I'm telling Tyler Bowen, "Hey, if you get it to 4th and 3 or less, we're going to go for it here."
Wells, here comes the pressure, and down he goes. Solomon DeShields. 3rd sack of the year.
DeShields is going to be right here. He's going to get lined up right against the guard, just works around and is able to come through and get Grant Wells. It's kind of a miscommunication on the twist. Guard comes off, tackles too far outside to get him. Pitt gets the sack, forces the punt.
Peter Moore to punt it to MJ Devonshire. Play clock at 1, and Moore gets it away. Boy, Devonshire, a wobbly punt. Pretty good job catching that on the run at the 24 off a 39-yard kick. Well, don't forget, Game 3 of our triple header here on ACC Network tonight in primetime. Mike Monaco, Tim Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs are at what'll be boisterous Carter Finley tonight, Roddy. NC State back at home, number 14 in the country, welcomes Florida State at 8 o'clock. And I heard you talk this week, one of the most improved players and arguably now one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC's Florida State's Jordan Travis.
It's not arguable if he's one of the better ones. He is. And there's a guy that's playing well at Wake Forest, a guy playing well at Carolina, a guy playing well at Clemson. Jordan Travis is playing as well as anybody in the conference.
Abanikanda snowed under. Fuga led the charge. Be a loss of 3 on the play downstairs to Taylor.
You know, guys, we have talked about Izzy Abanikanda. He clearly impresses fans, but I've been watching his teammates' reaction to his play over on the sidelines. It's been pretty hilarious. Guys looking at each other going, this guy is ridiculous. They know the ball's going to him, and teams still have struggled to stop him. I talked to him these past couple of weeks. He said, if I can be this big of a role for a team that I care about this much, I'll do it.
Slovis on 2nd down, and Bradley. The first down grab stays in bounds. He's going to be measured out of bounds at the 42 of Virginia Tech. Terrific throw and catch.
We come off this a little flash fake on play action. The offensive line gives them a lot of time to throw the ball. Jaden Bradley able to get down the field, and Virginia Tech has really struggled. They did not have a single sack last week against North Carolina. They haven't really been able to create consistent pressure on Kedon Slovis either.
37-yard throw. Here's Abanikanda. Into the boundary, 9, maybe close to another first down. Nasir Peoples shoved him out. We go inside 3 minutes to play in quarter 3. Tempo here on 2nd and short for Frank Signetti Jr. And boy, the Hokies, Jalen Griffin busting through the front again to make a play behind the line. Griffin, they've trapped the Pitt running backs more than once or twice today behind the line, with Griffin leading the charge.
They have. This defensive line has been at times very disruptive, but overall, I think the entire front seven, the run fits, have lacked consistency.
Vincent Davis has come in now, and Griffin will wrap him up. So now it's 4th down. And Bradley's going to come on.
A long field goal from here. I think if I'm Pat Narduzzi, you go for it. Virginia Tech struggled on offense in the second half. Leave your offense out there, see if they can get it, and if not, rely on your defense.
4th down and 3. Pitt is 5 for 9 on 4th down this year. And now a timeout. Play clock at
30-second timeout.
Got
Pittsburgh,
down inside of 10
half.
seconds. So a quick reminder to you that coming up next, the ACC Huddle Crew back in studio. Highlights, complete breakdowns of all the afternoon games. Get you ready for Florida State and NC State at 8 o'clock. Then after the game, full post-game show. Wrap up the full day here in Week 6 of ACC football. Louisville a winner already at Virginia after trailing 10-0. Satterfield's Cardinals outscore the Cavaliers 34-7. It's the second time in his Louisville career, Roddy, they have come from double figures down to win. Other time was the Music City Bowl against Mississippi State. For Scott Satterfield, they pick up their first win in the league. They're 3-3 overall on the season. Virginia winless in 3 games, and now 2-4.
Performance of Brock Doman is going to be the conversation. 17 of 30, 275, a touchdown, and 71 yards rushing as well. An excellent job by that young man. But Pitt now has a 4th down.
Abanikanda back on the field. 3 receivers and Bartholomew, the tight end. Rush coming. Slovis cutting it loose from Means. Broken up by Connor. So Pitt will cash it out on downs. And Virginia Tech will take over.
Shamari Connor stays nice and composed as he knocks that ball away, doesn't commit an interference. Pitt did a good job of picking up the pressure, as they really have for the majority of the game, giving Kedon Slovis enough time to throw the ball down the field.
So Wells and the Hokies late here in the 3rd, trailing 2 scores. Quick throw on the perimeter. This is Wright, the tight end, to work. Daquan Wright, first catch today, 5th of the year. He had 4 last week in Chapel Hill. Picks up a first down.
Daquan Wright's listed as a tight end. I guess technically he is a tight end. He's lined up at H-back right now, but he looks very much like a receiver when he gets out there on the perimeter.
6'4", 231 from Perry, Georgia. That time the catch shoved out of bounds by Wiltz after a gain of nearly 5.
I like a couple of short throws to get Grant Wells going and to loosen up this Pitt defense. It's been very aggressive. Taylor, when she interviewed Pat Narduzzi, said that they were going to make some adjustments. Some of the adjustments, I think, were at linebacker. Tyler Wiltz, we've seen him a lot more in the second half.
He's in there now. Here's Wells with a ton of time, throwing deep, and it is caught! Touchdown for Lofton! Beautiful throw from Wells, and Lofton's first touchdown of the year.
Just extended the play enough. Marquez Williams, I think he lost focus just a little bit. Looks back for the football. Dewan Lofton is able to get away from a little push-off, not called by the officials. Dewan Lofton does a nice job of finishing the play in the end zone.
Career long catch for Lofton, and the point after is drilled through by William Ross, and it's an 8-point game with a half minute to go here in the third.
I'll tell you what, about 60% of the kicks that we've seen from Virginia Tech today have not looked good coming off the feet of the punter or the kicker. That one was in danger of being blocked too. It was incredibly low.
3 plays, 65 yards, Roddy. My goodness.
And Virginia
Quick strike Hokies.
Virginia Tech's back in this thing now. They're going to have to get some stops on defense, or continue to, but Virginia Tech coming into this game was one of the least explosive offenses in the conference. And they've been able to win battles against these Pitt corners down the field. I'm not saying you do it every single play or even every single possession, but you're Tyler Bowen, giving your receivers opportunities down the field. You have to continue doing that in the fourth quarter.
Boy. Lofton's second career touchdown catch. Last year, he had a 29-yard grab against the Panthers.
You kick into Izzy Abanikanda if you're Virginia Tech?
No, sir. Kick it through the end zone.
Or you're kicking it to Vincent Davis on the other side.
This is Kyle Lowe, by the way, kicking it away for the Hokies. And Abanikanda will let that skip through. Nice job by Lowe on the kick. He narrowed the angle on the return for Abanikanda. And Roddy, we talked about the troubles last Saturday night against Georgia Tech and second half possessions. Not so today.
Well, that middle section there, touchdown, is where they've been able to kind of extend that lead. The turnover on downs at the end, I like the aggressiveness to go for it. The throw ended up being a prayer to the end zone, but I like the aggressiveness to go for it. But now's where you want your offense to really assert dominance, keep this lead at 2 scores as you go forward by going down and getting some points.
Abanikanda, and he will pick up a couple. My goodness, Mario Kendricks, 290-pound D tackle from Kissimmee, Florida, rode Abanikanda down at the 27.
Came from the backside and wrangled number 2 down, and it looks like Pat Narduzzi is going to be content to take this thing to the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But we got a
football with Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis, West Durham. See who stays alive in the Coastal Division in the next 15 minutes, Roddy.
Yes, we will. It's a wide open race right now.
Bradley in motion in the orbit. Now reroutes. Abanikanda. Boy, got hemmed up. Well done. Jaden McDonald, the redshirt freshman, made the play. They're twin McDonalds, Roddy. Jaden and Jordan. 38 is Jaden, 39 is Jordan.
Of course, back-to-back numbers. I'm not sure if our cameras caught it, but a pigeon got an up-close view of the action. Looked like it was going to get tackled too. Now 3rd and long for Pitt.
Yeah.
If I'm Virginia Tech, I'd be tempted to drop 8 because you've had a tough time getting to Kedon Slovis.
They're going to bring 5. Slovis will go down. Hokies got there. Jaden McDonald again. Well done by Chris Marvin, Brent Pry, huh?
Keep knocking on the door. First sack in 2 weeks. McDonald shoots through, brings down Kedon Slovis, and they break the spell. It's a nice twist there. Just a blown pass protection rep by Pitt.
First career sack for McDonald. And Blue is going to wait on the punt of Vanderhaar here. Snap, tough. Got to get rid of it. It's blocked. And it is recovered in the end zone for the touchdown. Nike Johnson falls on it for the score. How about that?
Special teams have been pretty lackluster for Virginia Tech today until right now. The snap wasn't able to be handled. Nike Johnson blocks the punt, finishes it in the end zone, and now Virginia Tech's got to go for 2. You're down 2. The offense is out on the field. might be worth Brent Pry. Play clock isn't running yet, so he's got plenty of time. But what a turn of events. The sack led to it, Wes. Remember, their first sack in 2 weeks. They get it, and then they block a punt, recover it for a touchdown.
P.J. Prelo, whose dad played for Frank Beamer and was a Beamer baller back in his day.
Yeah, now you got to get your best two-point play.
To tie the game, Wells, shovel pass, Holston, taken down. So we start the fourth with a punt block recovered in the end zone by Johnson. And the Hokies go for two and come up short. We got a 2-point game, Roddy.
Yes, we do. Special teams coming up big for Virginia Tech, as they have so often. But a nice play there in the middle by this Pitt defense. Devin Danielson and Shane Simon doing a nice job keeping them out of the end zone. Let's go down to Taylor with more.
Guys, a very electric Virginia Tech sideline, as you can imagine. And honestly, that was the perfect depiction of what Coach Pry told us this week he wanted, and even reiterated to me at halftime: complementary football. You've got a big touchdown pass into a sack on defense, into a special team score. I mean, you can't script complementary football better than that.
Well, Brent Pry, who grew up less than 90 miles from here, guys, in Altoona. In some respects, Roddy at Penn State with James Franklin, and now here today, back in his home area, and his team is competing here in the fourth.
Look at the defense. You've got 9 tackles for loss, an interception, a sack, and also a blocked punt. Virginia Tech's defense has come to play, especially at the most crucial times.
Lowe's kick. Abanikanda will let that go over his head. Pittsburgh from its 25 with its 6th possession of this second half. Don't forget now, we've seen some of the amazing fans across the ACC. Now we need your help this fall. ACC Network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. So snap a pic, take a video, tag it with the hashtag AllTheDevotion, and post it to your social. You might see it on ACCN. So Pittsburgh up only 2 now off its 25.
I think we'll see Izzy Abanikanda carry the ball a couple times on this drive, I would assume.
Abanikanda trying to get started and cannot, Roddy. Again, Virginia Tech, Cole Nelson, Norrell Pollard. Sandwich Abanikanda.
Norrell Pollard completely bullied. Marcus Minor, push him right in the middle, tries to cut him. No siree. Able to get ahead of Izzy Abanikanda. You know, momentum is a heck of a motivator, heck of a thing in a game like this. This defense feels like it has a little bit of it.
Yep. Abanikanda again trying to find the seam. Maybe a step toward the original line at the 25. Kendricks the tackle.
Man, I don't like the boo birds coming out from this Pitt crowd. I mean, yeah, you got stopped on 2 plays behind the line of scrimmage, but Izzy Abanikanda has been the best player on the field for Pitt, Taylor.
Third and the 10. Slovis gonna look, take the shot. Bradley is there and couldn't come back and make the play. Peoples was covering for Virginia Tech. I'm not sure the ball wasn't thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, I think it was. That's a dud of a series, though, from Pitt. Get the blocked punt, touchdown for Virginia Tech, come back out, 3 and out. Underwhelming from this Pitt offense.
So just a 2-point game, back-to-back 3 and outs. Byron Floyd to snap it to Vanderhaar. That's clean. The punt looks good. And Blue will make the fair catch back inside the 35. So 3 minutes have elapsed, fourth quarter. 2-point game. Pitt, 31-29. Well, we've been looking for big plays today from Virginia Tech offensively. And these are 5 that stand out, but I tell you what, the temperament of Grant Wells has also been important today for Brent Pry.
Yeah, those 3 that say to Wells were to Caleb Smith by Grant Wells. Caleb Smith's been huge. The complimentary football's been big.
A little flare to Keyshawn King starts the possession, and Kamara going to help him out of bounds after 5 to the 39. We've seen the return of Malachi Thomas today. 43 yards on 11 carries. Keyshawn King has been a factor there in the throw game. Second down for Wells. And a play fake. Going to look for Smith again, and overthrown with A.J. Woods tailing. Only 1 second-half catch for Caleb Smith, who had 7 for a $131 in the first half.
Woods sniffed that one out. He was coming down, was Caleb Smith, to try and make like he was going to block off the play action and then accelerate up the field. Now it creates a 3rd and medium for this Virginia Tech team.
Blue and Lofton, along with Daquan Wright, to the left. Smith in the boundary side. Here's a slant. Smith the catch. First down midfield. Fumble! Knocked out of there. The hit was delivered by McIntyre and recovered by John Morgan.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by Pittsburgh. First down.
It was a massive shot delivered by John Morgan. The defensive end drops into coverage. Caleb Smith's able to make the catch, and watch 6 come across and just absolutely drill him shoulder to shoulder on the ground. It looked like Shane Simon jumped on that ball.
Yep, good call.
Nice job by John Morgan. Those defensive ends sometimes don't know what to do in coverage. Will run to the football, put your shoulder on it, and create a turnover. It was a big conversion for Virginia Tech, but a bigger play by Pitt on defense.
Fumble and the recovery. Plus field territory. Just the 2nd fumble of the year by the Hokies. Abanikanda outside on the edge. And Connor will shove him out of bounds. And a flag is thrown on the play at the 20.
After the player was out of bounds, personal foul, late hit, 15-yard penalty by number 1. Correction, half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
Wow.
Didn't have 15 to give, but Daniel Carter throws a nice block. You get a Blake Subovic coming around, and that's just ill-advised by Chamari Connor. Izzy Abanikanda clearly out of bounds.
Abanikanda with 2:08 now in the ball game, Roddy. And he gets the rock here. To the corner, touchdown.
You get a high five for scoring 5 touchdowns. Left side of that offensive line gives him the edge. Virginia Tech doesn't set it. He just got one for the thumb, Wes.
Yeah, he did. Nice call, Mean Joe Green. So the Hokie fumble is cashed in for a score. Here is Sauls for the point. Israel Abanikanda, a 5th rushing score. This one is 10 yards, Roddy.
He's been fantastic today. Some people take shots after turnovers. Pitt brings a fullback in the game and hands it off to Izzy Abanikanda.
Israel Abanikanda from Brooklyn, New York, who's got a career-high 218 yards on 33 carries and just scored his 5th touchdown. Now, Taylor, I want to make sure Pat Narduzzi told us he's going to dress and we think he might play today. That's what he said, right?
Oh, yes. Always discreet, but protecting his players' privacy as always. But we asked him this week, and he said, we think he can. We feel good about it. But it was really pregame that I was down here watching him. He looked completely unfazed. And flashback a week ago, he was in a sling on the sideline. So just goes to show how tough this kid is amongst the rest of his skill set.
No return here for King. The last 200-yard game for Pitt, Vincent Davis in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Against Georgia Tech, but Izzy Abanikanda is the star today.
We've seen the full arsenal of things Izzy Abanikanda can bring. The vision and the speed, the toughness and the strength. Seen that as well. He's been excellent in pass protection today, but the offensive line, when they've given him a little bit of space, he has taken it to the house. Apparently, Izzy Abanikanda came into this game hungry because he ordered a 5-piece McTouchdown today.
Oh, my goodness. Here's Wells, and this is right, and he's got a first down out across the 40. You better, if you follow the ACC, you might want to write Daquan right now. Get that name in your little notepad you keep when you watch games, because Roddy, he's a problem.
Yeah, he's going to be a really good player.
Thomas on first down will get 5 to the 46-yard line. Let's check with Taylor again on some Hokie developments.
Well, guys, following that last big hit on wide receiver Caleb Smith, he seemed very shaken up here on the sideline. He's actually in the medical tent with trainers right now. Like you both have mentioned, he's been a big target for them this game. Definitely a prominent miss.
A career high, and now Thomas trying to help him on the ground. And he got pulled back. That was Devonshire from the secondary.
It was a big hit that he took from John Morgan. Those receivers aren't used to hitting guys that are 265, especially blind like that. But Virginia Tech's going to have to find some offense without him. You got a bunch formation to the bottom of your screen, single receiver to the top, and a condensed formation.
Wells quickly right side. That's right, the catch, and a first down. Devonshire was there for Pitt, but Wells wasted no time looking for the freshman.
I like the tempo that Virginia Tech has opted to go with.
Malachi Thomas, no, fake that, tried to throw it to Blumrick. Kamara the breakup.
They have not been able to get any of that. Any of those short throws on the RPOs going at all. It's gotten in their face a couple of times. And tough go on the short stuff like that for Grant Wells.
Here's Wells backing up, throws, and dropped. Jalen Jones. Wells was under duress of Deslin Alexander. There's number 5 in the blue.
Took his eye off the ball. He's down right where he caught it. He would have been down right there anyway. Jalen Jones in with Caleb Smith being out. Dajuan Lofton has gone to Smith's spot to the boundary, to the single receiver side. Now they're flipping the formation.
Timeout, Pat, for Brent Pry here.
Timeout, Virginia Tech. That is their first charge of the half.
Under 9 to go. Brent Pry's on the headset upstairs with Tyler Bowen. We'll see what they have next. Well, the Food Line Food for Thought, Roddy, brought to you by our friends at Food Line. Here's the way the Coastal Division looks. Uh-oh. What are you doing down there?
I'm adding the Jackets. They're winning down there in Atlanta, but the way the Coastal Division looks, it's kind of about who plays the good teams in the Atlantic. Yeah. That might be the deciding factor.
Here's a straight draw. Malachi Thomas, big run, and taken out of bounds at the 20. Heck heck of a run by Thomas, 23 or 28 yards. And a first down.
It's a little counterplay on a third down, and Thomas gets out in the open field. The offensive line opens up a big hole. Pitt was playing coverage, thinking Virginia Tech going to throw the ball. Nice call by Tyler Bowen.
Here's Wells for the end zone. Devonshire knocked it away.
Dangerous throw by Grant Wells. I think if he sees that a little bit sooner, then that might be the type throw, but you got to put that on the back pylon. It would have been tough for Lofton to get there, but where it was, I mean, Devonshire is about half a step from being able to pick that ball off.
MJ, the first player to have a punt return for a touchdown and an interception for a touchdown the same season since Darrell Revis. Now 2nd and 10. Wells being flushed by Alexander will sail it out of bounds. 3rd down next. When Randy Bates and Charlie Partridge, the D-line coach, get those hombres cranked up on the front, Roddy, it can be bad news now.
Can be. They haven't had quite as much success on the sack side as we're accustomed to. 4 sacks a week ago for this crew against Georgia Tech. Only the one here today. But they've created pressure on Grant Wells a ton. Grant Wells' legs have not been a big factor. They've been able to keep him in the pocket.
3rd and the full 10. Wells, quick throw. Lofton broke the route off. Wells sailed it out, and boy, he took a big lick. Gets up and looks like he's holding his left wrist, maybe left arm.
Javon McIntyre coming from the right side. Yeah, just takes a hit flush right on it. Now so, Brent Pry going to send out the field goal unit to make it a 1-score game.
William Ross, 37 yards. He's hit from 18 today. And Ross missed it. Tugged it left.
It has been a real mixed bag for Virginia Tech in the special teams department. Some poor punts, a blocked extra point, now a missed field goal have kind of tainted a special teams day that you block a punt for a touchdown. And I think despite that, you'd still look at the day all in all with special teams and say, hey, it might have cost us today.
First miss of the year for Ross.
Yeah.
His longest coming in, 49, against Boston College.
They've been 7 for 7 on the season.
Yep. Pitt off its 20 with a 9-point lead. And here's Abanikanda breaking through. It might be a foot race to the river. And Izzy will win it.
Blocking up front's fantastic. Ryan Jacoby, Carter Johnson, Daniel Carter, and then once this happened, if I'm even, I'm leaving, Wes. There was never a doubt who was going to win that one. Izzy Abanikanda has been fantastic all day long, finishing runs that offensive line has started for him. Frank Cignetti was patient with the run game, and Izzy almost 300 on the ground today.
Point after by Sauls. Abanikanda has just tied the record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single game for Pittsburgh.
I think the thing that everyone in the ACC is getting used to is just how fast he is in the open field. We've seen previously the ability to break tackles, but when you've got 2 in the game, I mean, the rest of the season, it's going to be a steady diet of Izzy Abanikanda every single game because of his ability to hit the home run. And honestly, he can get the tough yardage too. But when they needed a closer, you give it to Izzy Abanikanda.
1910 for the great Norman Bill Budd, who was a Pitt quarterback and later the head coach at Duquesne. In his 20s, by the way, he was the head football coach at Duquesne.
Yeah. That's
he had
incredible.
6, but see, that was back in the day when everybody ran the ball.
Yep.
He was a quarterback.
Yep. The old single wing offense.
6 rushing scores in a game.
Well, and if I'm Pat Narduzzi, you got to give him one more carry so we can get that 300.
Wait, let me tell you this.
Even number.
He is 5 yards from tying Tony Dorsett's single-game rushing record.
Oh, let's get some Tony Dorsett film in here.
Through the end zone, Hokies' 7th possession of this second half will start from their 25, and there is the great Tony D, Lou Riddick's childhood hero. Taylor?
Yeah, guys, Grant Wells spent some time over here on the Virginia Tech sideline with trainers. They were looking at that left hand, which clearly was bothering him after that last hit. Jason Brown, backup quarterback, actually came over to him and said, hey, you need me to go out for a couple? And Grant said, no, I got this. He stood up, grabbed his helmet, and took to the field. A really tough kid.
Thank you, Taylor.
He didn't have long to decide whether or not he was going to go either.
And now he's going to keep it and run. Wells trying to make something happen for his squad, out of bounds at the 32.
Tell you what, Grant Wells, I think over the course of the season, you're going to continue to see the improvement with Grant Wells. If he can figure out how to manipulate speeds with the ball a little bit more and get more help from his receivers, which he's gotten today, to be quite honest, for most of the day, I think you're going to see continued improvement from him.
Wells and eludes the rush. Now throws and off the hands of Jones, and a flag thrown from about 25 to 30 yards down the field in front of the Pitt bench. Riley Johnson.
Pass interference, offense, number 88, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, second down.
So all of that aside, Gallo ticketed for the pass interference. Second down and almost 20 for Pry's offense.
A lot of coachable moments for Brent Pry after this game. Especially on special teams. I mean, how many times did he mention special teams this yesterday? And it's really let him down today.
8 penalties, 74 yards. And nice move in the backfield, but can't shake Kalijah Cansey. Malachi Thomas, the first try was pretty good, Roddy, but 8 is a seeker.
Well, usually those guys fly by after you make a move like that. Kalijah Cansey stuck his foot in the ground and stopped. I mean, watch the athleticism by 8. He's able to get out. Watch what happens when he gets juked. Nope, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to plant, and I'm going to bring you down. That is unreal athleticism from a 280-pound defensive tackle. Celebrate, young man.
Hokies are 4 of 14 on third down. Here's Thomas again on third and long, but not nearly as successful this trip. Shane Simon tripped him up at the 20. And now Virginia Tech will punt.
Izzy Abanikanda's grabbing his helmet, Wes. Might get a chance to see history today.
6th 3 and out of the day for Brent Pry's club. Moore gets the punt away. Devonshire will flag it down, running out of bounds at the 35. So, Abanikanda 5 away from tying Tony Dorsett's single-game record when we come back.
New Degree Advanced. First ever 72-hour nonstop protection with motion sense. Tested to the limit.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
superior 72-hour nonstop protection however much you move.
Hey, yo! Check this axe with 48-hour protection.
Yeah, because Tony Dorsett did it against the Irish, I'm guessing.
They are.
Proud alumni moment. And guess what Abanikanda just did? Picked up 6 on first down, and that breaks Dorsett's mark.
Unbelievable. What a performance by this young man. You pass Tony Dorsett in anything, and you've done something. 35 carries. 36 carries now. Over 300 yards, 6 touchdowns. 304 yards. Incredible.
He's also tied the ACC record for rushing touchdowns in a game. The great Kelvin Bryant of North Carolina did it against East Carolina.
It's also not done.
Here goes Abanikanda, firing into the secondary, brought down at the 44 of Virginia Tech by Connor.
Shaken up after that one too. Slow to get up is Izzy. He's grabbing for that.
Injury timeout.
Grabbing that calf.
Is that a cramp? That's a cramp.
It appears to be a cramp, and had I run for 300 and whatever yards, I'd be cramping too, Wes. But just look at the offensive line. Marcus Minor coming around to the backside. Carter Johnson's done a really nice job since they've gone to this big package. Ryan Jacoby, the converted tackle in the game, has been excellent for him. Daniel Carter might be my favorite player in the league. Right? You get a blocking fullback in the league who does what Daniel Carter does, and he's in the running.
Abanikanda will come off. Today he has become the 7th player in Atlantic Coast Conference history to run for more than 300 yards in a game. Andre Williams of Boston College, John Leach of Wake Forest, Derek Fenner, North Carolina, Michael Carter, who did it at Miami 2 years ago, P.J. Daniels of Georgia Tech, and Lamont Jordan of Maryland in 1999.
And you're going to look up and see that he had 36 carries, and he averaged 8.9 yards a carry. Unbelievable.
Vincent Davis in a strong eye on 1st and 10. And Davis will pick up 3 to the 40. J.R. Walker, the tackle, as we go inside 4.5. The Knowles and Pack wait in Raleigh tonight, Roddy. And I will tell you this, the environment there should be a full 10 at Carter Finley.
You think people are going to show up at Carter Finley for this one?
Yep.
They've had all day to get warmed up, and I am 100% sure they have not disappointed in their warm-up.
Nope.
It's been a little bit of a house of horrors for Florida State here recently.
Sure has.
There at Carter Finley.
That's Bub Means wide to the left. 2 tights for Pitt. And Davis cannot skate away from Cole Nelson. I tell you, the sophomore from Johns Creek, Georgia, has played pretty well here today for that defense of Chris Marv. Well, J.C. Price got to be pretty excited about that young sophomore in his defensive line, doesn't he?
He does. And they've got some really talented young pieces on this team, especially on defense for Chris Marv. We've seen Mansour Delane in the game today. DJ Harvey's been in there as well. Jalen Stroman's played some, so he's got some building blocks, but a frustrating day all in all for Virginia Tech. We've seen the patience in the run game for Pitt really pay dividends.
3rd down penalty.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So with 3:12 to go, you see the penalty on Pitt.
Illegal formation, that was quite see what the infraction was on that one.
So 3rd and 13 now for Slovis. Here's Bradley working his way back downfield for a couple of yards. Not much there, about 5. Jalen Griffin the tackle, and Pittsburgh's going to punt off their 9th possession of this second half.
Pitt just content to run the ball down a little bit. Brent Pry opting not to call a timeout. I mean, it's kind of in that range where you're down 16. You might want to save some time.
Pat Narduzzi's going to let. Is he going to take the 5 here on delay of game?
Yeah, it's kind of curious by Brent Pry. It's the second time where you should have called a timeout there. It was the field goal
delay
in the first
game.
Quarter.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Field goal in the first quarter where his team takes the delay game and knocks him out of field goal range. Wasn't really, apparently not paying attention to the play clock.
Correction, the penalty is declined. Game clock operator, let's put 2:25 back on the game clock. Thank you.
Virginia Tech declines the penalty, which is wise because now Pitt's got to punt it from closer to their own end zone. But the thing, I mean, you're down 16. If you mount a drive,
right,
you can onside kick it and then get it. I mean, there's still hope. It's not a lot of hope, but the hope is still there.
Yep. And Vanderhaar will stand at the 45 after the declined penalty. Kakavitsas. And Vanderhaar flips this over, and Kakavitsas inside the 10 at the 6. Maybe a step toward the 7 or 8, and that's it. So now with 2:16 to play, Virginia Tech is backed up. Don't forget, ACC PM. Your staple in the afternoons, 4 o'clock. Pack, Trey, and Taylor. Football and the latest from around the league. All right here on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. The other day, I saw Roddy Jones in the ACC PM.
Did, yeah. It's
slot.
Good. After the performance that Dallin Cuff and I had on ACC PM, fans around the country are thanking their lucky stars that Pack and Trey are back.
And a throw on the flat to Thomas, out to about the 15. Virginia Tech drive starting from its 8. Wiltz and Devonshire the stop. Under 2 to go now. Hokies have 2 timeouts. And another quick throw, and that's Daquan Wright, out of bounds, shy of the 20.
You know, the thing that
first down
Virginia Tech hasn't been able to get to today is they haven't been able to challenge these safeties. It's always a big part of the game plan against Pitt. Can you get mismatches with the safeties and really challenge them there? I haven't seen that. We've seen Virginia Tech challenge the corners, and Caleb Smith has done a nice job, although since Caleb Smith went out, we haven't seen that either. But
boy, after the hit by Morgan, we haven't seen him, right?
No, we have not.
Quick throw again, and just beyond the reach of Lofton. And, oh boy, Devonshire was in the neighborhood of another one.
Those are the frustrating throws that we've seen for Virginia Tech throughout the season, where quarterback and receiver just not on the same page. Wells expecting receiver to be a little bit further inside. Lofton expecting the ball further out. It's happened a lot this year.
Yep. 2nd and 10. And middle of the field, and Kamara almost came away with one. Headed to blue.
I think Bengali Kamara was caught off guard by how hard that ball was thrown.
Yeah.
Grant Wells tried to squeeze it in a window. It's about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. If it's at 85, it's picked off. It goes right through the hands of Bengali Kamara. Actually, it ends up being a good throw because it's Jaden Blue right in the chest.
So 3rd down and the full 10. And timeout for Pitt.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. Second of the half, 30-second timeout.
Virginia Tech today, Roddy, has allowed 320 yards, roughly, the most they have allowed in history. Abanikanda has 320. The total is 315 because of the sack numbers, right? But 320 is the most they've ever allowed in a game. Let's check with Taylor.
You know, guys, at times tonight I've actually seen a very animated Pat Narduzzi. Earlier in the game, he actually went up and down the sideline, hopping in to position groups and challenging them to step up. It goes back to what he told us this week. He actually had a meeting with his leadership council on Sunday following the loss to Georgia Tech and sat them all down and said, hey, what is not working? What do we need to fix? Between halftime adjustments and those leaders stepping up, this is more indicative of who this team is.
And on 3rd down, Wells is taken down by Deslin Alexander. 3rd sack for the Panthers.
The pressure has been affecting Grant Wells. As soon as he saw the number of bodies coming, watch his eyes. They start to look down right away, and they actually do a halfway decent job of picking it up. But with the amount of blue around him, Grant Wells takes his eyes downfield, starts looking at the rush, trying to get out of there. And Virginia Tech has to punt.
Devonshire will wait on Peter Moore's offer. And Moore gets away a wobbly kick. Devonshire will signal for it and make the fair catch. And 46 seconds away from Pittsburgh going to 4-2, Roddy. 1-1 in the ACC. And a week off before Louisville at Cardinal Stadium, and that's a Cardinal team today that came from double figures down in the first half to double the number on Virginia, 34-17.
We'll likely have Malik Cunningham back by that point, if not before. But this is a Pitt team where I think the shocker maybe of the season would have been if Pitt didn't come out and respond to the loss a week ago. Number one, they're a good football team and the defending Coastal champs. But number two, defending ACC champs, excuse me. Don't let me shortchange them. But number two, Pat Narduzzi, the culture of this team is to fight.
Yep.
And they came out and did it today. Virginia Tech, I think, had a decent showing, but all in all, this Pitt team really asserted its dominance on the ground, which I got to tell you, I think is exactly what Pat Narduzzi wanted.
And here's Daniel Carter spinning away. And Carter keeps his feet and will get a first down to the 45 of Virginia Tech, and I will let Mr. Jones go from here.
When's the last time we saw fullback spin, Wes? I mean, we might have to go back to the 60s to find that. Turn around, hand it to the fullback, and get some of that. What's happening? Get up the field. He can't tackle me. Tell him, Daniel Carter. Hand me the ball again. Oh, they're going to take it. Okay.
Unfortunately for you, that'll be the final play of the game.
It was worth it. Wait around all day for a fullback spin? Let's go.
The Panthers are going to post the win.
Yeah, they are.
It is a record-setting day for Izzy Abanikanda. A single-game rushing record at Pittsburgh. 320 yards on 36 carries. He ties the single-game school record for rushing scores that was set in 1910. And he ties the ACC record for rushing touchdowns in a game set by Kelvin Bryant of North Carolina in 1981.